Part 175. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1744. Jia Yan rushed to the eight-dimensional subspace and felt the galaxy-level bombardments behind him, but he had no ability to hit him deep in the eight-dimensional subspace, and then he smiled slightly. As expected, in the eight-dimensional subspace, it is difficult for even a powerful person at the beginning of the galaxy to attack. If you want to attack here, you must at least be in existence at the middle level of the galaxy. Jia Yan knew how terrifying the eight-dimensional space was. When he went to a place like this, he almost felt a little desolate. Because in this kind of place, the space is like a complete collapse, not a collapse in the traditional sense, but a collapse of some kind, like the transformation of nothingness. Jia Yan has a premonition that when he reaches the ninth dimension, he may have already it is close to the deep subspace level of the Edissa. Once there, even if he only relies on his body, he will have the opportunity to travel quickly in the subspace. Maybe in the future, it will not be a dream to cross the galaxy with his physical body. But just thinking about it now, even in the eighth dimension, Jia Yan has just arrived here. It doesn't feel very strenuous, but it is difficult to say that he has gone deeper into it. Huh? These guys actually set up a subspace with energy to disrupt me outside. Jia Yan felt that the four major galaxy-level beings in the outside world began to spread energy fluctuations in the outside world, preparing to let Jia Yan inside the subspace be completely disrupted by their energy, and even the shallower subspace. Complete destruction, so that Jia Yan will not be able to move in the nearby shallow space. They will be able to quickly lock Jia Yan's location, and Jia Yan will have much fewer chips to fight with them. You're not afraid that I'll just leave? Are you going to fight me here? Jia Yan knew that his character was ruined by the assassin, and even if he knew this, he was not willing to leave just like that. Humph, since I won't leave even if you are dead, then I will do as you wish, but before that, I have to continue to make my body more adaptable to the strength of the galaxy. Jia Yan silently felt the fluctuations in the outside world, and then silently continued to understand his body for the first time after his successful mutation in the eight-dimensional subspace. Originally, after being promoted, Jia Yan did have a certain explosive period, but this explosive period did not exist from the beginning. After all, even if he has the strength, but is not familiar with the body, he will get twice the result with half the effort, which will definitely be more troublesome, and even possible. Sex has made his fighting power even smaller. Now Jia Yan, after a series of battles, finally seized the opportunity to realize his galaxy-level body in this eight-dimensional subspace. The opportunity to do this was given by the other party and created by Jia Yan himself. If they knew this and used all their strength to prevent Jia Yan from entering the subspace from the beginning, then maybe they could really stop Jia Yan from doing this. He became stronger even further, but unfortunately when he reached the galaxy level, who would start such an all-out battle from the beginning, and when there were three people of the same strength as him around him? This is something that a galaxy class would hardly do. Well, I feel that my strength has reached such a level that the evolved beasts must use their full potential and strength before they can go further. It turns out that the so-called evolved beasts that everyone is worried about are also the strongest. Possibilities of most creatures are the same. When they reach the galaxy level, it is the end. Jia Yan felt about his body and suddenly had an epiphany. That was his evolved beast body. Even though there were legends in all the major star fields, it was even regarded by many starfield lords as a huge rise threat, but in fact the evolved beasts are not as outrageous as imagined. From now on, Jia Yan can no longer rely entirely on his own talent, but needs to be like other non-evolved beasts, step by step, slowly rushing towards a higher realm. For Jia Yan, this kind of thing is a very different process from before. In the past, he could often reach the next level by relying on his own talent, energy, and certain insights. There was almost no bottleneck. But it is different now. In the future, he will be like other strong people. Even if he may still have certain advantages over other strong people in terms of talent progress, in fact, he will have a certain probability of failure. Physical strength, this is the first time he has carefully understood it since his promotion. The galaxy level is the galaxy level, and my galaxy level is different from other people's galaxy level. This is a level created by me using my own yin and yang dao as the mainstay. It is really different from other systems. Even my yin and yang dao has been integrated into my body. Strong, really strong. This is still as strong as I have not completely passed through the weak period of my first promotion. After a year or two, my strength will improve by leaps and bounds. Jia Yan looked at the 4 galaxy-level beings in the outside world who had arranged something, and the eyes of the giant mosquito were shining brightly. If they are 1, no, even if they come 2, I am sure to kill them. Even if there are 3, there is a certain chance of injuring them and driving them away, but now the 4 galaxy-level ones are attacking at the same time, then whether I have the strength to repel them now is a matter of debate. And I don't want to take risks, because no matter how strong I am, I will have a chance to defeat them, so it's not worthwhile to fight now. But it won't work without driving them away. When you reach the galaxy level, you have to start to support your own prestige. Because my prestige has just reached the galaxy level, and because it is an evolved beast, it is very difficult to deal with in the surrounding star field. So in this first battle, if we can defeat all these galaxy-level beings, then there will be a certain chance that everyone will be afraid of me and even put aside their dislike of my evolved beast. This requires very terrifying strength. Threats will make other galaxy-level people afraid to take action. At the same time, the existences that have reached the galaxy intermediate level and even the territory lord level must not be chased after me because of my threat. Among them, it is necessary to deal with the balance really a lot. Jia Yan silently improved his understanding of the body while analyzing the current situation. After waiting for Jia Yan for a while, the 4 major galaxy-level outsiders began to doubt the assassin's analysis. Do you think Jia Yan will really come out? It feels like he hasn't come out after so long. Could it be that he has left the 8-dimensional subspace? We don't have that much time to wait for him. The assassin felt a little embarrassed after being told this by other galaxy-level beings. After all, he was the one who firmly said that Jia Yan might come out to fight with them again, but now Jia Yan didn't show up. I don't know about this anymore. This guy Jia Yan shouldn't have such a character. The last time I fought with him, he was a star at the top, and he actually kept it and wanted to fight with me. He has negative thoughts. Now that he has reached the galaxy level, he shouldn't have retreated like this. He was also helpless. What he said just now was actually just holding some hope. After seeing the speed of Jia Yan's promotion and the subspace talent he had just displayed, he knew that unless he invited a star next time intermediate beings should work together with him, otherwise he will definitely not be able to fight Jia Yan, who has gradually stabilized his strength at the galaxy level. Originally, he could not beat Jia Yan when he was at the top of the star. When he reached the galaxy level, he would still be beaten. So whether it was for his own good or for the sake of other galaxy-level people not being retaliated against by Jia Yan in the future, he made up his mind to wait a little longer this time. It's a pity that Jia Yan didn't get what he wanted and has already left. It is possible. After all, he has just reached the galaxy level. If it were him, he would wisely choose to find a place to stabilize his galaxy-level strength first. As for Taya Kingdom, to hell with such a small civilization. Forget it, if he doesn't show up, then we will destroy the Taya Kingdom and leave. But after we go back, we have to discuss how to defend ourselves. Otherwise, Jia Yan's strength has reached the galaxy level, and we alone it's really hard to say that one can guard against him. The assassin sighed. When he said such words, the other 3 galaxy-level beings all felt the same extreme discomfort, thinking that they had found a big trouble. Puff. Somewhere in the normal space where they were, an earth-shattering sound suddenly came out. What? Subspace fluctuation, no good, it's Jia Yan here again. Quick, defend yourself. These galaxy-level beings, after all, are galaxy-level beings. At this moment, they all reacted one by one. They first looked for where Jia Yan, who was emitting such fluctuations, was attacking from. Then they saw the direction of his attack, and the four powerful men took action together to block Jia Yan's attack, and then counterattack to kill him. This is all their plan. The assassin followed the direction of the wave and turned his head to look over, only to find with angrily eyes that Jia Yan was actually attacking him. Obviously, this guy also has some anger and hatred towards the assassin. After all, it was the assassin who brought the four major galaxies. For Jia Yan, the assassin is the one who bears the brunt of killing. Don't even think about it. The assassin used all his strength to resist Jia Yan's blow. This time he really used all his strength, and in an instant, he unleashed all his explosive power. Because he fought Jia Yan once last time. At that time, Jia Yan had just reached the peak of the star, and he was already able to face him head-on. Now that he has reached the same elementary level of the galaxy as himself, he doesn't know how to really fight without fighting hard. Something that might be killed by Jia Yan? So he unleashed all his strength without holding anything back. Puff. This time, it was different from the last confrontation. Last time, Jia Yan never dared to confront a Xi-class who burst out with all his strength, but this time it was different. Jia Yan not only resisted, but even obviously, he didn't use all his strength. Because he wanted to save some strength to deal with the other galaxy levels that would come up later. Humph, look down on me. The assassin's expression changed. It felt like Jia Yan was hitting him in the face. Even if he is familiar with my attacks, is it necessary to look down on him like this? He faintly added some strength, wanting to show Jia Yan that he would underestimate his own fate. It's a pity that trying to let Jia Yan see him won't be of much use. His strength is almost guessed by Jia Yan because he fought once last time. Even this time, he used several trump cards that he had not used last time, such as a blow with about twice the strength, a shadow back assassination that only assassins use, and some advanced combat skills. Are all used in this trick. But it was useless. Advanced techniques were all about avoiding the enemy or following certain technical things to fight back. Jia Yan faced him head-on, so these tricks were not of much help. As for doubling the attack power, Jia Yan seemed to have already calculated it. Therefore, the attack power he used was also equivalent to the assassin's current attack power. The two clashed suddenly, and then both of them stepped back in shock. It's okay for the assassin to retreat. But Jia Yan retreated a little, but he just happened to fall within the attack range of a galaxy-level being behind him. This is the terrifying thing about the galaxy class. Even if they haven't cooperated too much, their combat effectiveness determines that even if they cooperate for the first time, the actual effect is definitely better than that of many stars that have cooperated for many years. Super strong person. Die. The pig-headed galaxy-level being almost scratched the sky with one claw. This galaxy-level being is the ruler of a huge star field. In his star field, almost every creature is fat, and he is even more so. With this claw, nothing else, that is there is strength. His strength lies in strength, so he believes that if Jia Yan dares to directly compete with him like an assassin, he will definitely be injured by his own blow. Several other galaxy-level experts did not dare to fight like this when fighting him. He felt that if Jia Yan did not know that he was superior in strength, then he might hurt Jia Yan with one blow. In this way, the first mover of the four major galaxy levels is obtained. But what is unexpected is that Jia Yan, who was full of confidence in his combat effectiveness just now and directly clashed with the assassin, seemed to be more confident in his strength after promotion. At this moment, he actually avoided this pig-headed galaxy-level S attack. There is no choice but to collide. What? As soon as Jia Yan dodged the attack, he walked directly around the pig-headed creature and laughed lightly in his heart. As expected, this guy is very powerful, but his speed is considered slow in the galaxy level. As for why I know this? Brother, you look so similar to the pigs on Earth, how could I not know? Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1745. After Jia Yan smiled, he didn't really analyze it like this, but he had his own analysis method. In short, he now analyzed that this pig-headed creature was powerful and slower than himself. And he succeeded. Arriving next to the pig-headed creature, Jia Yan struck out and hit the pig-headed creature hard on the side. But in the vicinity, the other two Galaxy Class 1s were already close, so Jia Yan was unable to use his full strength in this attack. It only caused certain scars on the side surface of the pig-headed creature, and then he quickly rushed into the area. Space evaded the two galactic levels before they approached it. This series of attacks and defenses sounds like it takes a long time, but in fact it doesn't take much time. In the process of all this, Jia Yan bravely faced the 4 galaxy levels. Although he did not fight 2 of them, at this moment, he actually fought 2 galaxy levels in one go, and then caused one of them to be injured. Injured? How can this be? There were too many things that could not be explained. The 4 major galactic levels were all a little stunned, and at the same time, a trace of uneasiness emerged in their hearts. They had previously destroyed the subspace, and even the surrounding subspace. They believed that there was no place where creatures could enter and exit. Why was Jia Yan still able to move freely in this space? In addition, it is difficult for them to accept that Jia Yan's newly promoted strength can actually cause injuries to a galaxy level so easily. Don't underestimate him. Use your full strength. There is still a chance for the 4 of us to do it together. The assassin was beside Jia Yan and continued to attack Jia Yan. In addition to him, it seems that the other galaxy-level bosses who besieged Jia Yan were not too wary of Jia Yan at this moment. They used all their strength, but not to the level of an assassin who wanted to fight desperately, so after he saw a galaxy level being injured, he directly asked everyone to cheer up. Yes, let's be careful. This Jia Yan is really weird. After Jia Yan attacked the pig monster, he instantly entered the subspace again before the other 2 galaxy levels arrived. Yes, the techniques used by these people are very effective against creatures with ordinary subspace talents. It's a bit difficult for me to break into the space this time. Jia Yan was inside the subspace. At this moment, his body actually ignored the ordinary subspace distortion and forced himself into the chaotic subspace. He used his body to break a gap. Others were inside the gap. Moving, then it becomes the effect that he can freely walk in the subspace destroyed by others. Being able to do this method is a bit difficult for Jia Yan, and it also relies on his yin and yang dao ability to play a balancing act, so it is absolutely impossible for other subspace talented creatures to do it, and even Jia Yan's current physical defense also plays a role. The assassin is most on guard against me. He was defeated by me once before, and if he shows up again now, he must have studied me very deeply. So if I go out to attack him, he must have been completely on guard. So attacking others. Jia Yan was silent for a while, then smiled slightly. No, aren't you very well prepared? Then I will attack you so that you will never dare to attack me again next time. After Jia Yan smiled, he turned a corner and slowly flew out from another place in the subspace. The subspace was originally a place where Jia Yan could move quickly, but after the enemy caused chaos in this space, the difficulty of traveling inside the subspace increased geometrically. As a result, Jia Yan's speed inside the subspace increased. At most, there are almost as few as those in my world. Fortunately, this speed was enough to confuse the enemy for a while. Due to the internal chaos of the subspace, the enemy's field of vision was also unclear to a certain extent. By the time they discovered that Jia Yan had changed places, Jia Yan had already gone to fight again. "Assassin, who are you looking for?" "I'm here." Jia Yan's voice appeared next to the assassin's suspicious figure. "Huh? You actually came to attack me, don't even think about it?" When the assassin heard Jia Yan's voice, he was suddenly shocked at first, and then he no longer dared to hide his strength. He used all his explosive power to strike hard in the direction of Jia Yan's voice behind him. His strength is the doubling tactic possessed by his ancient star territory assassin. If he uses this doubled combat power in one strike, he can almost double his combat power. You must know that his strength is already at the galaxy level, and if he uses this terrifying double combat method, how can an ordinary galaxy level dare to collide with his attack head-on? Even if there are mid-level galactic beings who are more powerful than him, they probably won't be able to take on such an explosive force. It's not that they can't take it, but it's just that it's most cost-effective to avoid such an explosive force. The assassin thought so too. The main purpose of his attack was to make Jia Yan, who had sneaked up on him, retreat into the subspace again, or hide behind him, so that he would have a certain buffer time. Several other galaxies around him, friends, you can also rush to support. But he never expected that Jia Yan, who was supposed to take the sneak attack route, actually dared to confront him head-on. Bang! In the starry sky, a giant mosquito foot quickly stabbed in front of the assassin creature's attack. When the two sides met, the assassin was startled at first, and then became ecstatic. Even intermediate stars may not be willing to directly collide with my combat power. You, a newly promoted guy, dare to collide with my attacks. The assassin's explosive attack power is an extremely terrifying final trump card for him. Once he takes it out, his biggest worry is that he won't be able to hit anyone. But now Jia Yan, who was able to dodge, actually took the initiative to confront him. To the assassin, this was like pie in the sky, which made him overjoyed. And when the two sides collided, Jia Yan also felt a trace of counterattack. The force of this countershock was like an extremely overbearing surging tide, which made Jia Yan feel a little unbearable. But just when Jia Yan had this thought, he quickly used his Yin and Yang Dao fighting method. The fighting method of Yin and Yang Dao is a brand new system that is very difficult for ordinary creatures to accept. To put it bluntly, it is to use the positive and negative forces of Yin and Yang to practice, and when fighting, use the positive and negative forces to inhabit one's own body. The power erupted in his body was completely beyond what he should have had. At this time, Jia Yan was using positive and negative forces. Puff. When Jia Yan's positive and negative power was used, Jia Yan's strength, which was about to be crushed by the assassin at that moment, was actually reversed in an instant. What? The assassin was shocked again when he felt a terrifying force coming from his striking part that made him tremble. You must know his strength, at least under the terrifying power that bursts out, but only the middle-level star, or the peak of the primary level, has a certain possibility to follow. He would never have thought that Jia Yan, a newborn Xing who had just evolved into Xingju, would be able to take a blow from his trump card. But unexpectedly, Jia Yan took over, and not only did he take over, but it was also difficult for others to imagine. He took over steadily, and there was also a power similar to that of an explosion in his power. The assassin was made to retreat several kilometers. Jia Yan also retreated a few kilometers. For animals like them, which are dozens of kilometers tall, it was only a step or two back. Therefore, this attack between the two sides was almost evenly matched. But the assassin used his own trump card to attack, while Jia Yan also used some kind of attack method, but it did not give people the feeling of using a powerful trump card. No matter how you look at it, it seems that Jia Yan has a small victory. How could this happen? You actually won by a small margin this time. The assassin was so angry that his eyes were splitting with anger. The last time he fought with Jia Yan, it was because he, as a galaxy-level being, actually lost to a star-level being, made him a joke, and the news began to spread throughout the surrounding star field. And this time he came to fight Jia Yan. In addition to a certain selfishness, a large part of the reason was to regain his position. After all, he was too embarrassed last time. If he couldn't seize this opportunity, then Jia Yan's strength will definitely increase in the future, and it is almost hopeless for him to seek revenge. In this battle, especially the confrontation just now, he was already sure of victory, but Jia Yan's blow made his heart half cold. "You guy, you have just been promoted. Although everyone knew that your strength would increase, they never expected that you could actually improve to this level. It seems like they have really failed." The original plan was to launch an attack on Jia Yan before he was successfully promoted, and to kill Jia Yan in the bud before he was promoted to the galaxy level. But now this thought is probably everyone with a discerning eye knows that it has failed. Jia Yan is right in front of them, and he successfully breaks through the level. He even pretends to be some kind of dome when he breaks through, and actually kills a group of them. The galaxy class is played with applause. This is already another joke. Then, the assassin took the initiative to fight with all his strength, especially in this collision. He thought that except when desperate, this was all the fighting power he could use. But looking at it now, even with such terrifying combat power, he still couldn't do anything to Jia Yan. This was so surprising and frustrating to him. "Oh, Mr. Assassin, don't you want to seek revenge from me? Why don't you do it?" Jia Yan smiled. During this period, he also dodged a huge attack from a galaxy-level being behind him. "Die to me." The powerful pig monster also stepped forward again. His injury was not serious. After all, Jia Yan had to avoid the attacks of other strong men and did not have time to kill him. However, this also made the pig monster almost feel numb with fear. After all, he was a galaxy-level being has not experienced the feeling of death for an unknown amount of time. The injury caused by Jia Yan just now made him experience the feeling of death again. He was a little angry, so this blow was also a desperate attack with all his strength. "Haha, this is the right thing, otherwise I would feel a little disappointed with you guys at the galaxy level." Jia Yan smiled again and dodged the pig monster's attack. "It's so powerful. Compared to the assassin's burst of power just now, it feels more capable of killing me." Jia Yan dodged the pig monster's attack, and then felt a shiver in his heart. Jia Yan has long known that the existence of the galaxy class is not that simple, and he also understands that today's battle will probably not yield any results. But for the galaxy class that was injured by his blow just now, he subconsciously thought that this pig monster it should be the weakest among the 4 galactic levels, but the sense of power coming from the opponent's bombardment now is actually a bit more powerful than his previous combat power. For Jia Yan, he finally understood the reason why the galaxy-level existence was called the strongest. Each of them has their own special skills. It is precisely because of the existence of these special skills that each of them is far different from the creatures below the galaxy level, and each of them is difficult to kill. The same is true for this pig monster. When he was injured by Jia Yan just now, he was just a little careless. Even if his strength is among this group of stars, because he is the slowest, so if he really competes, maybe it really is the weakest among the major galactic levels, but Jia Yan felt the power of the weakest terror bulletin. He also has a similar burst of combat power, so what about the other two? Jia Yan's sense of danger suddenly appeared like an explosion. He did not want to confront the pig-headed monster head-on, because this time was different from the time when he had just confronted the assassin. The enemy had already formed a complete circle of 4 at this moment. If Jia Yan followed, if a pig monster collides, he may have to fall into the arms of other galaxy-class monsters, which is very dangerous. Especially for the 2 galaxy-level ones, Jia Yan has been thinking about what this creature's special move will be, or whether the pig monster in front of him has other special moves, and whether the assassin has other explosive power in battle. At this moment, Jia Yan felt that the surroundings were surrounded by monsters hiding their strength, and he was a little shocked mentally. After all, the galaxy level is the galaxy level. He may not be that nervous against the previous Jia Yan, but he is one of the 4 major galaxy levels, and Jia Yan is not sure at all. He can do all the hidden moves of these 4 galaxy levels. Avoid or cope with it? It's really interesting, ha ha ha, galaxy level, it's really interesting. At this moment, Jia Yan suddenly wanted to laugh. After all, his stay at the Xi level was too short, and he didn't even know much about the galaxy level group, so he felt that a new world had opened up for him. Jia Yan even felt a little excited. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1746. This Jia Yan. What a terrifying explosive power. According to our data, isn't his frontal combat ability weak? Could it be that after reaching the galaxy level, his strength changed its main direction? Because he was worried about the strength of the 2 galaxy class approaching, Jia Yan retreated into the subspace and avoided their attacks. One of the 4 galaxy level people was injured by Jia Yan just now. This time, the 4 of them were not careless, but they still did not keep Jia Yan, and they did not even feel any injury to him, so their expressions changed slightly. They themselves knew that facing 4 primary beings from the galaxy of the same level, it was absolutely impossible for them to withstand 2 waves of attacks, and they would be injured even if they failed. But Jia Yan is lucky. He has just been promoted to a galaxy-level existence. At this time, he is actually facing 4 major creatures of the same level. To put it bluntly, each of them has been at the galaxy level for much longer than him, and they have who knows how much more knowledge. Yes, but at this moment, Jia Yan not only resisted 2 waves of their attacks, but even injured the pig monster. How are you injured? It's nothing, but Jia Yan's strength is indeed beyond my expectation. It's probably not that easy for the 4 of us to take him down. Galaxy-level beings have an extremely terrifying grasp of the battle situation. Even the pig monster refused to admit it in their hearts. Faced with a creature they thought they could easily defeat when they first arrived, they actually defeated it now. He felt like he was slightly defeated by Issei in 4 vs 1, but he still recognized Jia Yan's strength in his heart. Humph, this Jia Yan is indeed the legendary evolutionary beast. How could such an existence be born in the universe? The evolutionary beast family should be a cancer in our galaxy. It destroys the balance too much. Yes, I think so too. It's not without reason that the seniors used to kill the evolved beasts together. Now it's our turn to use the same method with Jia Yan. Same method. Don't put too much pressure on your face. After these 2 waves of attacks, the 4 of us should be very clear. It's hard for the 4 of us to kill Jia Yan. When several galaxy-level people came with the assassins, they had some prior understanding of Jia Yan's fighting skills, strength, and various background. At this moment, they felt that Jia Yan was very troublesome. First of all, they know that Jia Yan should not be able to reach the galaxy level because there is too little time. They compare their own promotion time with Jia Yan's time. They all feel that it is impossible to be promoted to the galaxy level. This is also true. Jia Yan probably had not been promoted when they arrived, and their mistake was to help Jia Yan, using the brainwave power of their subordinates to feed Jia Yan into a galaxy. This was their first failure, and others followed. That's because they misjudged Jia Yan's strength. First of all, they thought that if a creature with subspace talent destroyed the subspace below the 3rd dimension, then he would have no place to stay, even if someone like Jia Yan could enter. There are no creatures in the 8th dimension of subspace, but there are no places below the 3rd dimension. At most, they can't stop Jia Yan from escaping, but they can't make Jia Yan fight back. But this idea also failed, because Jia Yan actually ignored the extremely chaotic subspace and was able to appear in front of them and fight with them. This makes these 4 galaxy-level beings feel like they are in big trouble at this moment. The astonishment and terror of the evolved beasts seems to be the same as in the ancient legends. No. It seems to be even more terrifying than the evolved beasts in the ancient legends. Before this battle, they believed that the evolved beasts in ancient legends should be the same as what they felt in ancient legends. The strength of the creatures in them was too rough. Facing modern more reasonable and powerful creatures, there are no advantages and even many disadvantages. So with the current strength compared to the legendary evolved beasts of the past, everyone thinks they are not that scary. But what I didn't expect was that the evolved beasts were just like the evolved beasts in ancient legends. In this era, their strength has improved as fast as the strength of other creatures in the universe, and they are still standing at every level. The highest point. Inside the subspace, Jia Yan smiled silently as he looked at the 4 major galactic levels outside, all feeling a little frustrated with their own strength. In fact, the battle just now was not as simple as others imagined. First of all, his strength has just reached the galaxy level. The 4 powerful people in the outside world are right that evolutionary beasts have actually appeared in so many years, but those who died were all evolved beasts who came out of Orion's arms before. The existence of evolved beasts, all of which have reached almost the venerable level, are still killed by the powerful people in the biochemical star field. This shows that the evolved beasts still have a slight advantage, but it is not too big anymore. And Jia Yan was able to gain many advantages over other creatures of the same level step by step. The reason for this is that in addition to the fact that he is an evolved beast, the other factor is that Jia Yan Yan has been seeking changes. A large part of his strength now is actually obtained through his own yin and yang dao. As for the second point of this battle that was not easy for him, it was that Jia Yan had already used 100% of his combat power in the few fights just now. Jia Yan has just been promoted successfully. For Jia Yan, at this moment, his strength has no advantage at all compared to other galaxy levels, even if he has his own yin and yang dao and the explosion of strength after the evolved beast reaches a new level. Time. But this time, he was facing 4 galaxy level beings in one go. For Jia Yan, his advantage was completely gone. And just now, Jia Yan was able to achieve a performance of strength that shocked even the 4 major galaxy level players, and even injured one of them. This actually showed that Jia Yan was trying to show off his strength. Humph, I don't need to use my full strength to let them know my strength. Even if they use all my strength to deal with them now, they can't kill me. It might take a long time. So it's better for me to use my full strength directly. Hurt one of them, and then they can only choose to retreat. Jia Yan has no intention of continuing to tangle with these 4 people. If his strength has stabilized, then he might at this time continue to fight with a group of galaxy-level beings from the outside world because of his subdimensional advantage. After being entangled for a period of time, they realized that this evolved beast of their own, after reaching the galaxy level, was no longer a being that they, the 4 major galaxy levels, could fight against. But now Jia Yan has just reached the galaxy, so he still wants to continue to improve his strength a little bit before his strength stabilizes. Even if this strength improvement is not much, it is better than wasting it in a battle that is impossible to win. That's right, Jia Yan doesn't think he can win these 4 galactic levels. It will be about the same when his strength stabilizes. Jia Yan, get out of here. When the assassin saw that the 3 friends around him actually wanted to retreat, his expression changed drastically, and he drank fiercely into the space around him. He knew that if he didn't take this opportunity to unite with several other friends to kill Jia Yan, then when they each returned to their own fields and Jia Yan recovered, he would definitely be the first unlucky one. So he was yelling at the surrounding space to see if he could force Jia Yan out. If they fought with all their strength, there would still be a chance to kill Jia Yan on the spot. But he also knew that if Jia Yan did not fight head-on and fight to the death with them, the three galaxy-level beings who followed him would have no reason and no possibility to fight to the death with him. After all, these three major beings have no life or death relationship with Jia Yan. They just came to plot against Jia Yan and failed this time. Besides, they are not too worried about Jia Yan coming back for revenge, because several of their galaxy-level beings are behind the scenes. With shadows of mid-level stars and even Domain Lord-level beings, everyone has their backing and there is no need to worry about Jia Yan's counterattack. But the assassin is different. Although he also has a backer, the relationship between the two parties is inseparable, and what he wants more is Jia Yan's body. Now he has nothing to gain. In the future, even if the person behind him kills him Jia Yan, but who knows how things will develop by then. After Jia Yan heard the sounds from the outside world, he immediately smiled slightly. Then, somewhere in the subspace, not far from the four galaxy levels, but not too close, a crack opened. A creature covered in golden light flew out of the subspace. Several galaxy-level beings were watching this huge mosquito vigilantly and silently. When they walked out of the subspace, everyone was silent. Instead of just like before, they all eagerly stepped forward to kill Jia Yan when they saw it. Because they knew that Jia Yan was no longer as easy to kill as they thought before. This is the benefit of strength, no one will underestimate you. The body of the giant mosquito, which has reached a length of more than 30 kilometers, combined with its golden appearance, makes people dazzled by it. Why, assassin, you still want to fight me but you can't. You can fight if you want. If the other three friends are not willing to fight with me, Jia Yan, just retreat. I will have a one-on-one decisive battle with the assassin. It just so happens that my former foreigner the name is also called Assassin. This battle can tell who is the real assassin. I think this title should belong to me, so you deserve to die. Jia Yan looked at the assassin lightly and smiled coldly. Well. When he said that other people did not need to participate in the war, there were actually several galaxy-level people, and they were all moved. They had nothing to do with Jia Yan in the first place. The reason why they continue to fight now is actually because they are worried that Jia Yan will take action against them in the future. After all, they have just reached the galaxy level and already exist to this extent. After a while, they will be one-on-one. There was no way they could be their opponents, and there was even a certain chance that they would not be able to escape from Jia Yan's grasp, so they would bite the bullet and still fight Jia Yan at this time. But Jia Yan said the word friend and then asked them to leave. Such words made these three galaxy-level beings a little excited. At this moment, it was the assassin's turn to be heartbroken, and his expression changed drastically with fear. If this group of galaxy-level friends leave, then how can he, who has already fought against Jia Yan and failed, be Jia Yan's opponent? Or it should be said that he has fought against the stellar Jia Yan, even if it was a small loss, but the current Jia Yan is completely different from the stellar peak Jia Yan. Even the attack between the assassin and Jia Yan just now, he used all his strength, but Jia Yan did not use all his strength when he struck him, and Jia Yan was not a powerful creature. He was very sure that if Jia Yan used his subspace talent to deal with him, he would definitely. If you can't even hold on for a few moves, you'll die. Guys, don't listen to his sweet talk, otherwise we will be in trouble if we are defeated by him later. The assassin hurriedly said this to the surrounding galaxies. Anyone can see his fear and worry. Putting himself in his shoes, several other galaxy-level beings also understand his thoughts, but they don't fully agree with the assassin's ideas just because they understand. Oh, assassin, do you think we will be as stupid as you two and continue to fight with someone as talented as Master Jia Yan? Yes, you have been using sweet words to persuade the three of us to act with you to deal with Mr. Jia Yan. Your approach is simply heart-wrenching. Okay, Assassin, as a galaxy-level person, do you still think you are not shameful enough? I believe in Master Jia Yan's temper. He will not go back on his promise. The three galaxy-level sneers sneered, and then they actually stepped back, exited the battle circle, and let Jia Yan deal with the assassin. Well. At this moment, the assassin felt that his head was completely mush. He successfully called three friends who were pretty good at playing, and used bait and various excuses to trick them into confronting Jia Yan with him. Now he actually made these three friends no longer dare to deal with Jia Yan. Jia Yan's strength is really too strong, especially his promotion speed, which makes several other galaxy-level beings feel a little unable to cope with it. As a result, these galaxy-level beings no longer have the slightest regard for Jia Yan. The psychology of challenge. Speaking of which, their four major galactic beings came to the battle this time with a relaxed attitude, because in their hearts, Jia Yan was a creature that had just existed at the pinnacle of the stars. They used their promotion to comparing the speed. I feel that even if Jia Yan is a genius, he is a genius to a heaven-defying level, but after so many years, it is impossible for him to reach the galaxy level, right? What's more, the assassin has also said repeatedly that Jia Yan didn't pay attention to the promotion code of the galaxy level during the battle with him. This shows that Jia Yan wants to be promoted, unless he realizes the secret of the galaxy level himself, otherwise you need to find another galaxy level instructor, or have another battle to have a chance. This is why there are so few galaxy level teachers in the universe. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1747. But what I never expected was that Jia Yan was actually in the Taya Kingdom and had not interacted with any galaxy level. He had reached the galaxy level so quickly. You must know that they had heard Jia Yan's after hearing the news. They started non-stop from their own star field and directly pursued the Taya Kingdom where Jia Yan was located. They had not yet caught up with the time. All the causes and effects, in the eyes of other galaxy-level people, were entirely due to the assassin's fault, otherwise how could they have failed? The assassin still wanted to say something. What am I? Mr. Assassin, you don't want to say that you, a dignified being who has lived in the galaxy for a long time, dare not challenge me, a newcomer who has just arrived in the galaxy. It just so happens that I didn't fight you well enough last time. Now, wouldn't it be better for us to settle our grudges? Jia Yan did not give the assassin more opportunities to speak because he was also afraid that the assassin's words would make a few galaxy-level beings who were still a little shaken continue to follow the assassin and attack him. Asshole, Jia Yan, do you think that since your strength has reached the galaxy level, you can really fight against me and other galaxy-level veterans? The assassin was furious, with a hint of intimidation in his eyes. Oh, Mr. Assassin, you also told me these words when you were at Factory Star, but what you said then was that my star level dared to underestimate your galaxy level. What happened now? I was promoted to the galaxy level. Could it be that are you more capable of killing me than when you were at the stellar level? In short, don't let these galactic level friends take action against us. If you are still a strong man, then we will fight in a duel. Jia Yan sneered, almost showing his strongest contempt for the assassin in history. It was true that this galaxy-level boss was an existence that Jia Yan had never met before, but he actually followed Jia Yan all the way to kill him. Previously, when he was at the stellar level, he chased Jia Yan outside the Factory Star. Just kill Jia Yan. Now that he has reached the galaxy level, Jia Yan will naturally find a way to regain his position. Otherwise, similar galaxy levels will come to trouble him in the future. Then Jia Yan will be in a huge crisis. Already, galaxy-level evolved beasts are indeed extremely powerful, but Jia Yan knows that the further the evolved beasts reach the galaxy level, the more likely they are to die young. Because the previous galaxy-level evolved beasts, including Senior Tianji, were all surrounded and killed by other star-level bosses when they were at the galaxy level, and in the end almost every one of them ended up in the galaxy level. Even the galaxy level evolution beast bosses have reached the level of territory lords. They are all very powerful beings among territory lords. Unfortunately, the territory lords don't know why, but they actually launched a siege on the evolution beasts. This Jia Yan was also worried that something similar would happen. Otherwise, why would he change his previous style and not catch the 4 galaxy-level opponents off guard? Then, when he becomes stronger in the future, he would chase them one by one. Go to their hometown and take away all these galaxy-level hometowns. In fact, it was because Jia Yan knew that after reaching the galaxy level, his life would not be so easy, and his life might even be in danger, so at this moment, he endured the unprovoked attacks on him by those 3 galaxy level. His anger was only aimed at the assassin. Humph, Jia Yan, since you want to fight me, then go ahead. Don't think it was my strength last time. The assassin's sarcasm towards Jia Yan was extremely disgusting. Especially when it came to what happened last time, he felt like he wanted to hit a wall, because he just didn't want to get more injuries last time, and Jia Yan had a talent for subspace. Yes, escaping really wasn't a problem. He didn't want Jia Yan to learn any secrets of galaxy-level advancement from him, so he didn't use his full strength. But this time, when he came to Jia Yan, he saw that Jia Yan was not only mocking him, but more importantly, he felt that Jia Yan's strength might really threaten him, so he thought about it in his mind, especially after thinking about several of his hidden skills. It shouldn't be a problem to prepare to kill Jia Yan in one go. That's why he dared to speak to Jia Yan and said that he was willing to fight Jia Yan alone. Oh, how dare you! It seems that you still have some confidence in yourself. When Jia Yan saw that the assassin actually dared to attack him, he was not purely happy, because a galaxy-level existence of this level dared to fight an opponent who expressed strong combat power under such circumstances, which meant that he must have something very powerful. Means of combat. Buzz. As soon as the two sides disagreed, they charged directly into battle. For the assassin, this is a battle that is absolutely impossible to win, but it is a war that involves his own honor. Because Jia Yan is a subdimensional talent, he had no confidence in catching the star-level Jia Yan back then. This time, Jia Yan has reached the galaxy level, so he has no confidence in catching him. Jia Yan. So in this battle, no matter who loses or wins, he will not have many opportunities to kill Jia Yan, but can only fight for his own honor. He had already become a big joke in the entire star territory after his last failure. How could he not fight now? Bring it on. The assassin's body suddenly turned into a vague shadow in the dark universe. If you don't look carefully, you can't see where he is. After a few more dazes, no one really knew where the assassin was. Absolutely, this assassin's assassination skills are getting more and more powerful. We don't know where he is invisible during the assassination. It's not a subspace or a gravitational wave space. No one knows where he went. Go, this move is really a unique skill from their assassin star territory. The few Galaxy-class people who were watching the battle from the outside felt that the assassin's move was both unfamiliar and familiar at the same time. Because every one of them had experienced this move when fighting against assassins. This is why the assassin clearly does not have much advantage over the surrounding galactic-level players, but among them, the assassin is vaguely the most powerful leader. This is exactly what the assassin's stealth assassination technique means. Helped. Oh, this assassin's invisibility ability is still a bit unclear at my current level. Jia Yan stared at the starry sky in front of him, but did not find any shadow of any creature. He knew that the assassin's strength lay in his assassination. This stealth technology was also the most important part of the assassination. But Jia Yan previously thought that after he reached the galaxy level, he would be able to see through his invisibility, but now that he has seen it, he still can't understand it, and he doesn't know where the assassin has gone. This is an extremely confusing thing for Jia Yan, because he is a creature gifted in subspace, so the assassin's only choice for stealth is gravitational waves. When Jia Yan looked into the gravitational waves, he still saw there was no shadow of the assassin, which meant that the assassin seemed to have truly disappeared into this normal space, making it impossible for Jia Yan to find any trace of him. This is a big headache for Jia Yan. In that case, I will try to deal with this assassin. I can use energy to destroy the surrounding subspace and gravitational wave system to force him to appear. Jia Yan silently thought of a new method. For him, he had always been in the subspace, being forced out by others trying to find a way, but this time he was new, actually preparing to force out the assassin who was in the abnormal space. He stretched out his long legs, and a burst of brainwave power exploded out. Huh? Did this Jia Yan actually use such huge energy to bomb the surrounding subspace and cut off his own escape route? No, his strength can directly cross the chaotic subspace. It is a bit surprising that he actually destroyed the subspace himself in order to force the assassin out. Also, he actually used such a huge force to bombard the subspace. Doesn't this mean that his strength may be lost a lot in the future? So shall we. Several galaxy-level creatures are watching the battle here from a distance, with different expressions and thoughts. Especially when they saw Jia Yan actually using such terrifying fighting energy, as if he wanted to blow up all his strength in a few moments, this made them all have different thoughts. The verbal promise just now was a verbal promise, but it is different now. If each of them sees that Jia Yan has no energy, they will definitely destroy the rhetoric just now and attack Jia Yan again. Boom boom boom. The subspace collapsed, and pieces of distortion were caused in the subspace. Next, Jia Yan bombarded his energy into the gravitational wave system. Because the gravitational wave system is a whole, it is almost impossible to completely destroy it, because this requires the ability to destroy a large area of normal space in the universe. For Jia Yan and even other galaxy-level beings, they are all mythical things. So Jia Yan just used his own power to create a gravitational wave system and exploded with extremely terrifying power, causing a tidal wave in the gravitational wave system. This is enough to have a great impact on the general gifted creatures of the gravitational wave system. If the assassin is in the gravitational wave system, or his invisibility effect has a certain relationship with the gravitational wave system, then he will definitely be forced the figure out. But what this person didn't expect was that the assassin still didn't show up. Huh? Just as Jia Yan was about to say something, he suddenly felt a shocking aura appear behind him. Puff! A sharp metal object pierced the starry sky directly, and stabbed Jia Yan's giant mosquito vest with a knife. This was a real assassination, and no aura was revealed before the killing. For Jia Yan, it was an extremely dangerous blow. It's coming. And it's so amazing. Jia Yan was suddenly startled and quickly turned sideways to avoid it. Fortunately, the universe was empty up, down, left, and right, and there were many directions for Jia Yan to avoid, so the stabbing knife slipped past Jia Yan's side with great difficulty. The figure of Ci Kong appeared unwillingly at the place where the assassination was just now, and then he moved his body back, preparing to disappear again. Where to go? Jia Yan's giant mosquito eyes flashed, and he quickly turned around and stabbed away with one foot. But something happened that made others unbelievable. Next to the figure stabbing Jia Yan's feet, another assassin suddenly appeared in the dark universe. Oh, Jia Yan, you are still too young. When it comes to assassination, I am the king. The assassin's body appeared next to the fake figure just now. At this time, he used the previous fake figure to attract most of Jia Yan's attention and attacks to the fake figure. At this moment, he was truly time for a killer move. Why, this? Jia Yan was really shocked. Just now, when he faced the four major galactic levels, he was not at a disadvantage, nor did he suffer any injuries. To him, it seemed that his strength was completely superior to all the galactic-level experts present. But now, once he fights this assassin one-on-one, it is still so difficult and he is frightened by the opponent's unique skills. And there is still a crisis. The assassin's new body is right next to Jia Yan. A metal weapon like the fake body shines with golden light, aiming at Jia Yan and preparing to assassinate him. Don't even think about it. Inside Jia Yan's body, the power that just bombarded subspace and gravitational wave space surged out again, and this time it was even more terrifying than the power before. The positive and negative power surged inside Jia Yan's body, and then exploded out in unison. That's right, just now several galaxy-level beings were shocked at how Jia Yan could use such great power. In fact, they didn't know that it was just the power that Jia Yan used daily. And what they said was that whether Jia Yan would use it to exert so much strength and then become weak. They really don't have to worry about this situation, because first of all, this huge power is actually created by Jia Yan's yin and yang dao that perfectly matches his own. The positive and negative cells in his body can create extremely terrifying positive and negative explosions for him. Strength. Another point is that Jia Yan, as an evolved beast, has far more endurance than ordinary creatures of the same level. Not to mention Jia Yan using his own positive and negative powers, even if it is useless, he wants to see Jia Yan's the strength has dropped significantly, and it will take at least dozens more hits to use the same level of explosive power just now. And coupled with the explosion of positive and negative power he originally possessed, this power is almost unlimited. Of course, it was different now. This time Jia Yan felt a hint of crisis, so the power he unleashed was completely full. Boom! The terrifying positive and negative forces accumulated in his body and turned into earth-shaking terrifying roars. Then the roar surged out from inside his body and rolled to the outside of his body. Boom! What? How could it be? His power is so terrifying. Didn't he just reach the galaxy level? He who just bombed subspace and gravitational wave space didn't use all his strength. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1748. Several star-level creatures who were watching on the side only felt their scalps numb at this moment, because they were faced with the terrifying fluctuations created by this positive and negative force, and they would probably be seriously injured in one blow. On the other side, Jia Yan directly bombarded out with power. Facing the assassin who came, he was also in a state of panic, even horrified. His sneak attack was almost at Jia Yan's body, but at this moment, Jia Yan suddenly exploded with terrifying power, forcing his attack back. This is impossible, your power, your power. Last time, he felt that his strength was completely overwhelming compared to Jia Yan, but this time, although Jia Yan had been promoted to the galaxy level, he could never have expected that Jia Yan would be better than him in terms of strength alone. This galaxy level veteran is so much stronger. Bang! Jia Yan's brainwave power combined with the counter-attack of his feet, first overwhelmed the metal weapon stabbed by the assassin, then the weapon broke from it, and then, it stabbed the assassin's body fiercely. At this moment, the golden color all over Jia Yan's body became extremely bright and dazzling. I'm not willing to give in. The assassin's scream roared in the universe for a long time. But then, his roar suddenly stopped. He originally used the ultimate power of his assassin star territory, thinking that even if he could not kill Jia Yan, he would definitely suffer a big loss for Jia Yan, who had seen this kind of power for the first time, and then he would level with Jia Yan. Now that the combat effectiveness is obviously poor, Jia Yan can be slowly killed next. But the actual situation made the assassin unbelievable, because he was actually unable to cause any harm to Jia Yan. Just like this, under Jia Yan's blow, or using the fighting techniques passed down from generation to generation in the assassin star territory, killed with one blow. The assassin's body, no smaller than Jia Yan, or even larger, slowly drifted in the universe. Jia Yan silently withdrew his foot. He also used all his strength on this foot. Even the tip of the golden foot, which was unknown how hard it was now, had a crack. It can be seen that the assassin's combat effectiveness is still very powerful. After Jia Yan exploded all the explosive power of Yin and Yang Dao, plus his own sense of promotion power, even though he died, he still caused a huge power deficit to Jia Yan, as well as his feat of injuries. Assassin, go away, the first galaxy-class person to die under my strength. Jia Yan silently looked at the great existence where a huge foot injury appeared at the heart, and then died without a sigh of relief. Silently, he didn't feel much satisfaction towards him. Every galaxy-class person in this universe is worthy of worship. Even if he is killed, it cannot be said that he is completely underestimated. Jia Yan won because of his Yin and Yang Dao power. Just now, the assassin burst out with the assassin's starfield trick. He was really shocked. Even now, he doesn't know how to decipher the assassin's trick. If the strength of both parties is at the same time, at one level, Jia Yan might be the one who dies. But without if, Jia Yan's Yin-Yang Dao strength is so domineering, and the defense of the evolved beast is so terrifying. If he is really on the same level as the assassin, he will definitely choose to escape and will not cause any friction with the assassin. Therefore, Jia Yan only had respect for this enemy of death and did not have any regrets. Okay, now that the assassin is dead, Your Excellencies, everything is over. It was a misunderstanding between us, right? Jia Yan turned around, smiled lightly, and faced the three galaxy-level beings who stayed behind but were stunned by the battle scene in front of them. The three galaxy-level ones were really stunned. Especially the pig monster among them, who was injured by Jia Yan's blow before, was a little unwilling to do so, but now it seems that the assassin is about the same strength as him. After using the ancient moves of the assassin's star domain, even he is not sure to take it. The existence that came down was actually killed by Jia Yan's blow. This was too exciting for him. If Jia Yan had used all his strength when he hurt him just now, he might be seriously injured even if he was not dead. Thinking of this, the pig monster nodded quickly and was the first to express his stance. Yes, the three of us came here just because of the assassin's temptation. Your Excellency Jia Yan, your strength is really strong, and the assassin's conspiracy did not succeed. Otherwise, we will definitely regret it for the rest of our lives. Yes, fortunately Your Excellency Jia Yan is strong enough, otherwise we would have done something wrong. Haha, Your Excellency Jia Yan, now that the person in charge is dead and the misunderstanding has been solved, we don't need to fight anymore. Several galaxy-level people, who were naturally human spirit-like creatures, all claimed that it was the assassin's fault, and treated Jia Yan as if they were friends who had solved some misunderstanding. In fact, until now, no one will mention the war anymore. Jia Yan is strong, but he can only kill one assassin. At this time, his energy has dropped a lot. You must know that although the evolved beast is a creature that recovers energy quickly, at this level, it consumes a lot of money. It's not easy to make up for it, so it's really hard to say whether we can deal with the three major galaxy classes again. On the other hand, the three galaxy-level ones did not have any vengeance with Jia Yan. This time, it was indeed because of the assassin's bewitchment. Everyone was enjoying themselves. On the other side, the fleet of the assassin star territory completely exploded after seeing that their strongest man, who was also the top leader of their assassin star territory, died directly under a blow from Jia Yan. The assassin is actually dead. How is it possible? The master assassin's unique skill should be almost invincible at the same level. How is it possible that he really died at the hands of the newly promoted Jia Yan? No matter what, it is a fact that the assassin is dead. Let's escape. Run away, escape. Now that the assassin is dead, those galaxy-level adults will definitely not fight Jia Yan again. If we stay here, we will lose ground. After seeing the outcome of the war, a group of fleets in the Assassin Star territory made an instant analysis. After all, there were still smart people among them. This group of warships quietly retreated, trying to exit the battlefield. But their plan was discovered by the surrounding Pacific warships. These warships from the Assassin Star territory want to escape. You have killed so many comrades in our Pacific Star region and you want to escape. Just die. Except for friends from other star fleets in the Assassin Star region, you galaxy-level adults were deceived by the people from the Assassin Star region and came to our country of Tadia to cause trouble. Do you think you can tolerate it? Please help us. We in the country of Tadia will definitely not, your grace will be forgotten. That's right, this battle is just a misunderstanding. If we take action now, we, Tadia country, will still be friends with you. In the fleet of Tadia Kingdom, a group of commanders are also smart people. They know that with their own strength, even if they catch up with the fleet of the Assassin Star region, they will definitely gain nothing. Even if the fleet of the Assassin Star region is not worried about the arrival of the powerful Galaxy class, if they stay and fight the Tadia Kingdom fleet, they can destroy the Tadia Kingdom fleet in minutes, so Tadia Kingdom is not pedantic here, and directly requests the other 3 Galaxy class who were still fighting just now of subordinates. This. A group of fleets belonging to the Galaxy-level powerhouses except the Assassin Star territory hesitated at this time. They were enemies just now, fighting to the death. Although they had the advantage, in the actual war, there were also dead comrades here. Fortunately, before these fleets had time to hesitate too much, they all received responses from their top officers, the 3 major Galaxy-class ones who were communicating with Jia Yan seemingly happily. Go, the people from the Assassin Star territory deceived us into starting a war with the Pacific Kingdom. This war is inevitable, so help the Pacific Kingdom. Tadia Kingdom, as a victim, naturally needs our help. Come on, all of you. Those who kill as many Assassin starships will be rewarded. The brains of these galaxy-level beings are naturally easier to change than ordinary soldiers. They know that after the death of the assassin star field has naturally become a weak star field. Although the background is strong enough, they dare not know whether it will perish. Said, but at least they no longer need to ally with the Assassin Star territory. When a tree falls, the Hosens will scatter. This is the principle. Can I kill? Humph, those guys from the Assassin Star territory are always talking about how much they have in the Assassin Star territory and how powerful the assassins are. I have long been blind to them, but now it's just right. Yes, let's kill them. The people in the Assassin Star territory are too arrogant. Now kill a few more to make them so arrogant. Come on. Finally, the fleet groups of the 3 major Galaxy-class star regions also followed the Pacific Kingdom battleship group and pursued the fleet group of the Assassin Star region. In this way, the fleet behind the old colony of Tadia Kingdom instantly fell behind when it was the first to pursue it. After all, the technology and overall strength of the 2 sides were still far behind. Awesome, these fleets from the 3 major star regions are actually so terrifying. That's right. When they fought us just now, they only used a combat power of less than half a star level. Maybe they didn't even use 1% of their strength. I'm scared to death. If we really caught up with the Assassin Star territory fleet, one of their warships might be able to destroy 100 of our ships. Fortunately, we didn't catch up. Now there are warships from the 3 major star regions in front. Let's follow them. If we cannot destroy the entire fleet of the Assassin Star region, we should at least destroy 10 of them. This can be regarded as a little interest for the fleet brothers who died just now. Go ahead. In the fleet group of Tadia Kingdom, there are also warships that rush up quickly, blending into the war and fighting quickly. The scene of this war is already changing rapidly for the senior leaders of the Tadia country. They feel that because of Jia Yan's strength, they are really like riding a roller coaster, which scares a lot of people. This, Lord Jia Yan actually won. Haha, my lord, you can save Artadia Kingdom from fire and water every time. I simply don't know what to say. Master Jia Yan is so powerful that he can even kill a veteran galaxy-level person. This. A group of senior officials from Tadia Kingdom fully accepted Jia Yan's strength in this battle and his idea of trying to protect Tadia Kingdom as much as possible. Tadia Kingdom is extremely grateful to Jia Yan and is absolutely loyal. But now, their loyalty, which they would rather die than retreat, has been rewarded. You guys did a great job. After Jia Yan had dealt with the 3 major galaxy-level creatures, he flew over the capital star of Tadia Kingdom. With a terrifying power that he could not look down upon, he looked at the entire planet below, all the Tadia people who were looking at him eagerly. His strength has long reached the point where he can spread his voice throughout the capital star of the Pacific Kingdom, so at this moment, his voice is ringing in everyone's ears on the capital star of the Pacific Kingdom. And Jia Yan is very considerate. He doesn't spread the word about babies, because babies can't understand it, and it's easy to wake people up. Giant Mosquito is very heartwarming. No, Lord Jia Yan has always treated us Tadia people like people from our hometown. It is right for us to be loyal to him. At this moment, Kama slowly stood up in the midst of countless camera lenses and live broadcasts watched by all Tadia people. It seemed that at this moment, she was the title of the Supreme Empress of Tadia. Expresses the loyalty of all Tadia people to Jia Yan. No, you did a very good job. I never thought that your Tadia Kingdom was actually willing to kill me. During this process, no one actually escaped, which is very good. Jia Yan nodded and spoke to Kama. Karma seemed to be pleased, but also shook his head a little miserably. We Tadia people, no, or we, the wandering earthlings, have been discriminated against by the outside world since we wandered from our home planet, the Earth, to aliens. We have also been looked down upon by countless races in the starry sky, and even chased after us. Kill, exterminate. In the hundreds of thousands of years since we left the Earth, we have experienced the extinction of many branch races, and also experienced many deaths and killings. Therefore, we Tadia people know how to feel like a piece of care from the strong. Rare. As an extremely powerful person, you not only saved Tadia country once, but you also had an equal mentality towards us Tadia people, and did not let us, Tadia people, treat their subordinates like other strong men. The feeling of animal husbandry, so, why can't we serve such a gentleman with sincerity? Karma also came step by step to Jia Yan in the starry sky, and gently hugged her fists in the posture of an empress. At this moment, she was not the Kama who admired Jia Yan, but represented the entire nation of Tadia. Jia Yan looked at her strangely, and then wanted to say something, but he never thought that Kama would say what he said first. Lord Jia Yan, here, on behalf of all the citizens of Pacific Asia, I have an unmerciful request. I ask you to fulfill it, and I also ask the Earth Alliance to fulfill it. If you have any requests, just ask. Jia Yan felt a little weird when she said this to her, and he didn't know what she wanted to say. So, under the spotlight of everyone, Kama expressed the request of the people of Tadia. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Buletin Yu. Chapter 1749. Karma's request was: the citizens of the Kingdom of Tadia originate from the Earth and belong to the same ancestor as the people of the Earth Alliance. Now, our country of Tadia has finally reunited with our mother star, the Earth, and there is a channel that connects us thousands of light years away. Come together, so the military and civilians of the Pacific Kingdom are bold and want to recognize their ancestors and merge into the Earth Alliance. I hope you, sir, and the senior officials of the Earth Alliance will approve. Well. Jia Yan was stunned for a while. He never expected that Kama would say such words at this moment. Compared with the Earth Alliance, the Pacific Kingdom is actually much stronger. Even if Jia Yan had similar thoughts, he knew that either the Earth Alliance would defect to the Pacific Kingdom, it would definitely not be the Pacific Kingdom dedicated to the Earth Alliance. But now, the Pacific Kingdom has actually said that it wants to join the Earth Alliance. Looking at the faces of the large number of people and those at the top, it seems that not many people agree, but that all the people agree with this. This surprised Jia Yan. But in fact, Jia Yan has never thought about why Tadia Kingdom agreed. It is not that the Earth Alliance is very strong now, but because they all know that the Earth Alliance is where their ancestors were born, and even the Earth Alliance is also the place where their ancestors were born. There are many traces of their ancestors' survival. Of course, there is another important reason, which is that the people of Tadia have always been bullied in this lonely place in the northern star field, but the people of Earth are different. They are within the arms of Orion, even if their technological strength and the strong ones are not strong enough, but the Earth within the arms of Orion is a force that absolutely no one dares to despise. This is a very coveted thing for the Pacific Kingdom. Although most of the current Northern Star territory has returned to Tadia Kingdom, this attachment has never been too strict. It is unknown when Tadia Kingdom will return to its original status, or even be exterminated. Therefore, the Earth Alliance is still very desirable to the Pacific Kingdom. Now, taking advantage of Jia Yan's existence, it is not impossible to join the Earth Alliance. Of course, Jia Yan's strength and existence also have a very big relationship with it. Jia Yan has obviously been protecting the Earth. So if Tadia Kingdom joins the Earth Alliance and continues to stabilize the unstable channel, then as long as the connection with the Earth can be truly achieved, normal communication between the two parties in the future will be very smooth, so joining is by no means impossible. Well, since you are willing, I will go and talk to the Earth side. I guess there will be no problem. We are all born on Earth and we can definitely talk about it together. Jia Yan smiled, and seemed to have a vague feeling in his heart that this matter was definitely a very important decision for the Earth Alliance or the Pacific Kingdom. And Earth, even if they have a high status in the Orion arm, they all rely on Jia Yan. When Jia Yan ceases to exist, or Jia Yan goes somewhere else, then the Earth Alliance will be a little embarrassed. It is different when the Pacific Kingdom joins the Earth Alliance. Although the strength of the Pacific Kingdom is not too strong, it has gradually begun to dominate the northern star field. With the help of the Pacific Kingdom, the Earth Alliance will also be able to join the Earth Alliance in the future. It will soar into the sky. After all, both sides are descendants of people on Earth. The hundreds of thousands of years that Tadia has traveled are places that people on Earth can learn from in the future. The Tadia Kingdom will also gain something. First of all, through the Earth, their relationship with Jia Yan and Jia Yan's subordinates will be directly closer, and they can also be protected indirectly. Then, the people on Earth are now slowly mastering Jia Yan's yin and yang dao. Although similar things are being carried out here in Tadia, the progress is much slower than that on Earth. Therefore, the Pacific Kingdom can also work hand in hand with the Earth to achieve the advancement of the entire ethnic group. This is a very useful thing for both parties. Thank you, sir. Since you have expressed your opinion like this, then this matter can definitely be achieved. Karma let out a complicated cry of joy. Because she knows that after Tadia Kingdom joins the Earth Alliance, she, the Empress, will probably have some power devolved. It's just a matter of size. But power is not what she wants, she just wants Tadia Kingdom to go further and further in the future. Having an extra brother or family member in this universe is absolutely good for Tadia Kingdom. Ha ha ha, we will join the Earth Alliance in the future. Ha ha, it's good to join the Earth Alliance. After all, we are wanderers traveling abroad. It is also a good thing for us to join the Earth Alliance and have the opportunity to return to the Earth where our ancestors have been. I heard that the Earth Alliance has a very high status in the Orion Arm over there. It would be great if we, the Pacific Kingdom, could enjoy a similar status. We can go and play in the Orion Arm in the future. Young master, if you want to go to a place thousands of light years away, you must first work together to open the passage. Only then will we be able to have regular exchanges in the future. Otherwise, we will still be blocked from each other. This is the situation now. It will last for a long time. That's right, but I believe there will come a time. Haha, the scientists in our country are very powerful. Maybe the progress will be far faster than everyone thinks. It is obvious that the citizens of Thai Asia do not have much resistance to whether Thai Asia joins the Earth Alliance, because Thai Asia was once a place that was almost destroyed and was attacked by other forces several times. For people in Thai Asia, it is actually very pleasant to see a brother-sister existence that everyone agrees with. What's more, everyone knows in their hearts that after doing this, they will definitely be more closely connected with senior giant Mosquito. This way you get more protection. Okay, you go share this news, I will continue to retreat for a while. Jia Yan smiled and then retreated into the subspace. He defeated the assassin this time and forced the remaining galaxy-level fighters back. His military exploits were so outstanding that even he himself felt a bit powerful. But all this is not enough, because considering that in the future there may be people like Senior Tianji, as well as other galaxy-level or even domain lords, who come to besiege such a sharp blade hanging above their heads, Jia Yan feels a little anxious, thinking you need to quickly improve your strength. Soon, Jia Yan, who appeared in front of all the subjects of Taia Kingdom, disappeared again. But the sensational effect caused by his brief appearance this time, and the sudden drastic changes among the forces caused by the results of the battle, had an extremely far-reaching impact. In the Northern Star Territory, many forces and countries that had previously defied Taia Kingdom no longer dared to have any resistance to the leadership and orders of Taia Kingdom at this moment. You know, one of the 4 major galaxy-level forces was killed by the giant Mosquito Guardian of the Pacific Kingdom. The other 3 did not dare to say nonsense and just ran away in despair. The other forces of the Pacific Kingdom with the country, in the eyes of such a strong man, it is nothing. Therefore, they will never dare to go against Taia Kingdom again. With such a super strong person, Taia Kingdom will not only want to devour the Northern Star Field, but also expand to other places, even if it takes away the entire surrounding area. The territory has been swallowed up, and it is estimated that the galaxy-level being who rules the star territory here does not dare to say anything. After all, that existence seems to be just an ordinary galaxy level. These are the trends of the Pacific Kingdom. The entire Pacific Kingdom is moving rapidly, and no one can say anything to refuse the leader of the Pacific Kingdom. As for places other than Pacific Asia, that is, the news of Jia Yan's defeat of the 4 galaxy-level beings reached several major star fields near the northern star field the fastest. What? Jia Yan actually defeated those 4 guys and killed one of them. He only reached the galaxy level. Is this evolved beast really as terrifying as the ancient rumors? In the star field closest to the northern star territory, the galaxy-level being who was previously forced by Jia Yan to sign the sublease agreement of the northern star territory, after being shocked by Jia Yan's strength, suddenly felt his scalp numb and could no longer rise. He didn't have the slightest idea of finding trouble with Jia Yan. Originally, he was planning to find a few similar galaxy-level beings to trouble Jia Yan. After all, although the Northern Star region was not a very important territory for him, it was also a matter of his face. But now, Jia Yan, even if he can defeat a group of galaxy-level people, then even if he goes to find some primary-level galaxy beings who are similar in strength to the assassins and others to ask for explanations, he will still be beaten back by Jia Yan and even lose his life. This is what he dares to do. It would be weird to go. Then sir, what should we do now? This Jia Yan has really risen a bit too fast. He is in the northern star territory. We can't guarantee whether this guy will attack us again after he returns to galaxy level strength. The star territory here is taking action. After all, his family of evolved beasts has never been a race worthy of recognition by others. I heard that in the rumors of this race, every time a galaxy-level evolved beast appears, it will cause a bloody storm. One of the galaxy-level think tank subordinates was expressing his opinion on this galaxy-level person. That's right, I've also read this evolved beast. Their information is really not something worthy of others' approval. If Jia Yan is in seclusion once and gets full galactic level strength, then he maybe completely I have surpassed you, my lord. If we attack again then, wouldn't we be in some trouble? Haha, I understand what you are saying, so don't try to flatter me. What kind of assassin is that? In fact, I have dealt with him before. The combat effectiveness between me and him is at best between the two, so now that Jia Yan has already defeated me completely. If I retreat again and make further progress in your terms, then I will definitely be killed by him very quickly. The fear of Jia Yan among the Zing class people in the dense atmosphere became more and more obvious. But no matter how angry he was with Jia Yan, he could only endure it at this time. Because in the battle between galaxy level, it is not so simple to be able to eliminate the disadvantage of being pulled down. If we say that at the star level, there are technological weapons, or calling friends, etc., we can even out the disadvantage, but when it comes to galaxy level, these will be very difficult, because the existence of galaxy level is already very difficult to find in the universe. If you want to find someone for help, then it is a big favor. Ordinary friendships will not help you, let alone Jia Yan, the kind of existence that has killed other galactic level beings, and was even able to beat them to death and run away during the encirclement and suppression of the 4 major galactic level ones. And when it comes to technological weapons, it is even more difficult to deal with star level beings. When you reach the galaxy level, it does not mean that there are no technological weapons that can deal with it, but because the galaxy level already has a bit of the legendary sixth sense ability, general technological weapons have to be deployed. Ultra-large-scale combat technological weapons will be noticed by galaxy-class beings early on, and small-scale weapons have no effect against galaxy-class, resulting in galaxy-class being almost technological weapons can deal with it. That's all, I'll go find the guy above and see what the old man has to say. The galaxy-level existence in the mist finally made up its mind. For the existence of what he calls above, is actually a stellar mid-level powerhouse. This strong man was like a boss to him, because the star field he controlled belonged to that boss, but in fact the relationship between the two parties was by no means as simple as a subordinate and a boss. Because Galaxy Absolute exists, everyone has to be shameless. This entry-level powerhouse of Galaxy will not say that he will just hand over his star field to others, even if his strength is low. Therefore, the relationship between them is like a nominal superior and a subordinate. The primary existence of the galaxy only needs to hand over resources and money to that superior every once in a while. Everything in this star field is actually, it still belongs to him, just like protection money. But now if you want to ask that existence for help, then it will be a huge favor, and it will take a lot of concessions to get help. He has no choice, because if Jia Yan appears in seclusion, he is not sure whether this evolutionary beast will increase his strength in one breath. If they really fight, he will not be able to fight back at all. That's all, just think of it as giving money to eliminate the disaster. I will provide the money and materials, but the evolved beast must be destroyed by me. That galaxy-level being's fear of Jia Yan was very obvious. And it's not just this galaxy-level person who was exploited by Jia Yan. In the star field near Taia Kingdom, several galaxy-level beings have felt the pressure from the evolved beasts. They are all discussing countermeasures. Although they are not like the galaxy class, asking for help from the galaxy intermediate above, or even the territory lords, they are all ready. Further away, such as the Orion Arm or the Assassin Star territory, the news was received only after half a month had passed. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1750. The whole thing in Orion's arms was completely shaken. What? The giant mosquito ancestor actually killed a galaxy-level person in a distant star field. Oh my god, that's the galaxy level. I thought that the strength of the ancestor would not exceed the star level at most, but he can actually kill even a galaxy level. The ancestor is already incredible. Alright. Ha ha ha, our Orion arm is definitely lucky to have such a person as our backing. That's awesome. It seems that after hearing this news, the Empire began to retreat on the front line on the Empire's side. Ha ha ha, the Empire is scared. If you know that the ancestor can kill a galaxy class, let alone the Empire, even the galaxy class behind them will probably be scared. Look what I said, the news came, the peace agreement, the Empire responded quickly enough. They actually said in one sentence that our Orion Arm soldiers fought very tenaciously, and then said that we were just a misunderstanding, and then said that they realized the mistake. For historical reasons, the entire biochemical star territory belongs to our Orion Arm, and now we are withdrawing from the original territory of the biochemical star territory. Ha 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 ha. It's ridiculous. This empire is just slapping itself in the face. They can't do it without fighting. After all, our ancestors can kill even a galaxy-level person, so they will definitely not be able to defeat our ancestors. Instead of losing their own land in the future, they will definitely admit defeat now. All the people and soldiers in the Orion Arm instantly became excited after hearing the news about Jia Yan, and the news that he had killed a galaxy-level man. And the Empire on the other side, just as they said, almost after hearing the news about Jia Yan, they knew that Jia Yan must have gone one step further and become a galaxy level, and then there would be a galaxy level strongman. With the strength to kill everyone, now they don't even dare to stay any longer in half of the biochemical star field that they originally occupied. The entire Empire's fleet suddenly received the most urgent order. They did not even dare to take many supplies, and directly declared the war to be over. They retreated back to the Empire's territory. For the Empire, this is something that has not happened in many years, because they are really afraid. If Jia Yan had a slightly better tie with a galaxy class before, they were not so shocked, but this time it was different. Jia Yan was able to break the tie even with the 4 galaxy classes. Next, he also killed a galaxy-level person. For the Empire, this was no longer something they could deal with simply by biting the bullet. If Jia Yan wanted to attack the Empire at his current level, then the galaxy-level man behind the Empire would not dare to show up and say anything, because his strength might not be much different than that of the assassin. As for the existence of a territory lord behind this galaxy level, this territory lord is not a creature that their empire can find. After all, there is still a very big gap between the territory lord and civilizations like the Empire. The civilization of his family members compared to the Empire, there are at least dozens of them, so they will not consider exchanging benefits with the Empire. Quick, quick, retreat. We don't have time to collect any supplies or anything left on that planet. Evacuate quickly. If we don't dismantle it, the future empire may be destroyed because of your attitude. Even my family can't escape. That's right, hurry up, that giant mosquito has actually reached the galaxy level, and just like he showed the strength to defeat the galaxy level at the star level, after reaching the galaxy level, he can actually kill a person as soon as he arrives. A galaxy level existence. Let's give a shit about this kind of existence. In the Imperial Fleet Group, there was simply an extremely embarrassing escape scene. They all couldn't believe that Jia Yan's strength had improved to such an extent in such a short period of time. Previously, it was difficult for their empire to determine the strength of Jia Yan or the giant mosquito ancestor, but at least they knew that Jia Yan was the evolved beast, and then they also judged that Jia Yan's strength should not miss the star level, so they dared to say that they were competing with the Orion arm for the biochemical star field, but what they didn't expect was that they actually heard the giant Mosquito defeat an assassin, that is, an assassin far away from the battle site. Galaxy-level existence. At that time, there were already huge conflicts within the Empire. Many senior officials believed that it would be impossible for them to continue to have conflicts with the Orion arm, because when such a terrifyingly powerful evolutionary beast actually appeared on their battlefield at that time, the Empire would definitely suffer heavy losses, and it was possible that it might even lose its own empire. But there were also different voices within the Empire at that time. For example, some people said that this evolved beast had a very strong ability to fight across levels. What's more, the assassin was not completely victorious in that battle. Anyone with a discerning eye knew that the opponent was he just doesn't want to give Jia Yan a chance to advance to Galaxy. Besides, there is a very close Galaxy-level master behind the Empire to support them. Even after Jia Yan showed such terrifying strength, the Galaxy-level man also sent a message saying that Jia Yan's strength is nothing. He will still support the Empire, and the other party also pointed out that even if Jia Yan is good, attacking the Galaxy is not that easy. Even if we put aside the matter of whether he will fail, Jia Yan it may take decades to advance to the Galaxy, so the Empire doesn't have to worry too much. But what he never expected was that Jia Yan actually slapped Xingju in the face instantly. He was actually promoted to a Galaxy level near the Kingdom of Taya, and just after his promotion, or was still in the process of being promoted, he created a fight with the 4 Galaxy levels who were chasing him to the Kingdom of Taya. After a huge killing spree, Jia Yan, who had just reached the Galaxy level, actually killed his old enemy, the assassin he had fought with before, on the spot. It is said that he won without using many moves at all. At this moment, not only was the Empire shocked, the whole country after hearing the news, but even the so-called protector behind the Empire lost the ability to speak at this moment. After that, the other party no longer wanted to talk to the Empire. Thoughts of talking, no news came at all. Even though the Empire used several very advanced communication methods and very high-level communication methods, there was still no news at all. It is obvious that the Galaxy-level being either did not want to contact the Empire because of shame, or because he was afraid of Jia Yan. After all, Jia Yan was a being who could kill even the Galaxy-level being. This Galaxy, although the strength of the level is not clear, as long as he is a junior star of the Galaxy, there is definitely no possibility of winning against Jia Yan. So the Empire roughly analyzed the meaning of the Galaxy-level master behind him, and of course he escaped overnight. What can they do if they don't escape? This evolved beast giant Mosquito is so frightened that even the adult behind them doesn't dare to have more contact with them. If he doesn't escape now, he is simply seeking death. Not long after, the soldiers and civilians in the Orion arm finally learned the news belatedly. Next, a large number of Orion arm soldiers and fleet slowly entered the biochemical star field. In fact, the biochemical star field on the other side and the other half of the biochemical star field ruled by the Orion arm seem to have been separated not long ago, but in terms of years, they have been separated for more than 10 years. In these more than 10 years, the Empire has long ago completely controlled that half of the biochemical star field in any aspect, and even wiped out most of the population inside. So when the Orion arm fleet entered that half of the biochemical star field, the scene they saw was almost completely different from the other half of the biochemical star field ruled by the Orion arm. The previous prosperity and huge population were almost completely destroyed. Faced with this situation, the other half of the biochemical starfield soldiers who had already been integrated into the Orion arm fleet, and even at the middle and lower levels, who were the main force, gritted their teeth angrily. Of course, the result also made them very depressed. After the Empire collapsed and the Orion arm army took over this half of the biochemical starfield, They found out after taking inventory that the Empire implemented a clearing strategy for this half of the biochemical star field. So there are too few survivors here, and every one of them has died. Damnable Empire, because most of the life in our biochemical star field appeared because of a mistake in the cultivation of biochemical people in their empire. Their hatred towards us is too great. Now after occupying our biochemical star field, start killing us. Yes, these are our fellow villagers. I was born in this starry sky. Now I see that my hometown is no longer there. They have smashed the entire planet into tatters. They actually deal with people from our biochemical star field like this. By contrast, we can see how good the Orion arm is. Now that they rule us, there is nothing wrong with the life we live. Children should go to school, and adults also have jobs. There is nothing wrong with it. That's right, our life is hard-earned. In the future, stop thinking about opposing the Orion arm. It's great to be a member of the Orion arm. With the ancestors of the giant Mosquito here, our future will definitely get better and better. After making a comparison, the result was obvious to the previous survivors of the biochemical star territory. The half of the residents of the biochemical star territory knew that they had almost become dead like their compatriots, and they suddenly became confused. Each one was so frightened that they were almost unbelievable, and their identification with the Orion arm became even greater. After all, many surrendered beings in the biochemical star territory still have very strong memories of the biochemical star territory, and want to return to the biochemical star territory's own rule at any time. But now that they have seen the cruelty of the Empire, they subconsciously agree with the Orion arm. It has to be said that the Empire really has the help of God to succeed in the Orion arm. And with the half of the biochemical star field with fewer people, the Orion arm instantly increased its control over a large area. As a result, the reputation of the Orion arms also grew, and behind them was the evolved beast Jia Yan, who was gradually becoming famous in the starry sky, and even many galactic-level people were frightened, as well as countless stars and forces. They all classified this Orion arm as a not to be messed with. At this rate, the future prosperity of Orion arm is just around the corner. Perhaps it won't be long before the entire Orion arm will become a very prosperous place. These are the reactions of Jia Yan in the surrounding star fields and galaxies, who was promoted to the galaxy level this time, and at the same time fought against a galaxy level boss, against 4 galaxy level bosses, and then achieved an unprecedented victory. Many galaxy levels felt that Jia Yan, the newly promoted galaxy level, was different from the ordinary Xi levels. Even some galaxy levels looked up the so-called evolutionary beasts and came up with a conclusion that left them dumbfounded. Search answers. This evolved beast is simply terrifying to the extreme. Huh? Why were all the previous evolved beasts surrounded and killed by other galaxy-level beasts when they were at the galaxy level? Do we have to compete with this evolutionary beast in the future? Is it possible that the evolved beasts are a race that is born to kill cruelly? But Jia Yan's current performance does not seem to be to that extent. It does not seem to be much crueler than many galaxy levels. Why does it cause many galaxy levels to kill? Go and kill this evolved beast. Many galaxy-level beings have certain historical books, but there are too few descriptions of evolved beasts, because the most powerful evolved beasts recently appeared more than 200,000 years ago, which has a profound impact on many civilizations and civilizations. In terms of power, it is too long. However, among so many forces, there are always 1 or 2 who have a star field that is as old as the Assassin's star field and has had in-depth exchanges with the evolved beasts. Huh? You can actually eat the evolved beast, or use certain parts of the evolved beast's body to create something that even a galaxy-level powerhouse can advance. Even this thing is extremely scary. Generally, the elementary-level galaxy-level beings, even those who have been stuck in the elementary level for a long time, have a 90% chance. Those who reach the intermediate level galaxy, or even the intermediate level galaxy level, have a certain chance. Rush to the domain lord. This is simply terrifying. It seems that the ancient forces that possess my information must exist. Let's contact similar ancient entities. As for other forces, we can't let them know such great news. That Jia Yan is it? Our strength is simply not enough to deal with more galaxy-level people, and we are strong men from the star territory whose background even exceeds that of the assassin star territory. There is no reason to fail when dealing with a galaxy-level person who has just been promoted. Within the star territory, those ancient families have uncovered the true secrets about the evolved beasts, and at the same time they have learned why every time the evolved beasts appear, many strong men come to encircle and suppress them. Even some strong people have guessed that the Orion arm is so weak, but it occupies such a large territory. Even if the evolved beast named Tianji is protecting it, there really is no galaxy level that wants that territory. How could a dead evolved beast stop it? They probably want to raise another evolved beast. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1751. Haha, this Jia Yan actually has such a big secret. No wonder, the seniors didn't fight for the Orion arm, there is such a legend. Looking at the previous information, the people who obtained the corpses of the evolved beasts have actually improved in strength. In other words, this evolved beast has helped more than one person improve. That's great. We can definitely discuss working with others to kill Jia Yan. I understand. That assassin wanted to kill Jia Yan just because he wanted to be greedy for his evolved beast characteristics, and he didn't tell anyone else. Otherwise, how could he insist on fighting Jia Yan to the end alone? In many galaxy-level nests, they all suddenly understood the benefits of Jia Yan, an evolved beast, to them, and they all almost coveted Jia Yan. It is very unusual for an evolved beast to become the focus of so many stars in the starry sky. Because in the entire evolution process of the surrounding star field, in fact, there is not only a race like evolution beast, which can repeatedly appear a large number of geniuses within dozens or even millions of times. There are even some races that have never been able to defeat a true galaxy-level ruler. In other words, they may even be the real ones compared to evolution beast, a race that has been able to survive for hundreds of thousands of years at the galaxy level. A race of geniuses. Of course, the disadvantage of the evolved beast is that its race has a small population, and in terms of single combat power, there is really no creature of any race that can defeat the evolved beast at the same level, so this also has certain factors that caused the evolved beast its famous, but no matter what, the reputation of evolved beast will be remembered for hundreds of thousands of years, which is so thought-provoking. So these galaxy-level people learned from ancient records the ultimate secret of the evolved beast race reaching the galaxy level. They all immediately understood why the ancients remembered the evolved beast so closely. Because the evolved beast is like a big tonic to other galaxy-level beings, it is even possible that even domain lord-level beings will get medicine from the evolved beast's body, allowing them to make progress. This is simply an earth-shattering event. It's no wonder that there are so many racial experts who have recorded the matter about the evolved beasts. We must definitely take part in this evolved beast. We will share a share of its future kills, because this may allow me to advance to the middle level of the galaxy. Haha, our race wants the evolved beast. I will even tell the middle-level galactic master of our race that if he can become a domain lord-level existence because of the flesh and blood of the evolved beast, then our race will be able to survive to the end. What nonsense are you talking about? Our race must be the only one who wants a share of the pie. Things about Jia Yan spread rapidly in several major star regions. Even if it was only spread on the surface of high-level officials, it still caused an uproar. After all, after reaching the galaxy level, most of the items are no longer useful to the power of the galaxy level. Even for them, many of them will be difficult to reach the current level and cannot make any progress. And now, suddenly there is a level thing that can make even the galaxy level progress. To them, it is like pie in the sky. Countless people are waiting to see if there are any flaws in the evolved beast, or to contact other people. A galactic-level powerhouse wants to invite him to grow evolved beasts together. Although there are lessons learned from the past, it is precisely because the lessons learned from the past help them to explore Jia Yan's background, so their next move will definitely not be as simple as the previous 4 galaxy-level ones. On the other side, under the surging undercurrent, Jia Yan, who has gradually become accustomed to being noticed, does not have so many thoughts. I'm still a little short of strength before I can completely get used to the galaxy-level combat power. I'll just have to close it down for a little while. After Jia Yan finished explaining the affairs of Taia Kingdom, he entered the subspace again. Although the subspace around the Taia Kingdom was completely destroyed by the battles between several large galaxies and star classes, it was almost destroyed. But for Jia Yan, as long as the deep subspace is not destroyed, he can still live comfortably in it. Even cultivation is now used to taking place inside the subspace. Very good. My current cultivation speed feels like a world away from before I was promoted. After being promoted to the galaxy level, it is indeed a different world. Jia Yan is in the 3rd dimension. There are very few places affected by the war, so he can still travel freely here. As for the danger of the 3-dimensional space, it is nothing to Jia Yan, because he has already tried to practice and live a long life in the 3-dimensional space before. Although he was a little uncomfortable at that time, I'm used to it, but I still managed to hold on. He was able to hold on at that time, but now that he has reached the galaxy level and his strength has become much more stable, it is definitely easier. For a creature that can reach 8 dimensions of subspace with all its strength, the 3rd dimension is like child's play. Anyway, for Jia Yan, he can easily carry out his own cultivation in the 3-dimensional subspace. And breakthroughs, and will not be disturbed by others. That assassin, the more I think about it now, the stranger it becomes, why he is so persistent with me. For a Xi-level person, I don't think he should be so persistent. Because I have reached the galaxy level, right? If you know more about the galaxy class itself, you will know very well the thoughts of the galaxy class. They should not take risks easily if they don't have much confidence in an existence. This only depends on the wars between many star domain masters. The fight lasted for tens to hundreds of years, or even lasted for thousands of years, but the galaxy class behind the star field was unwilling to fight directly, which can be seen. Because there is not much hatred between the galaxy class, or there are not many vital interests. They will never risk fighting another galaxy level. At least at the same level, this is the performance. The conclusion Jia Yan said was the result of his slowly learning about many galaxy level deeds. Although there are some exceptions, there is absolutely no doubt that most of the galaxy level are masters of self-protection. So he was wondering if he had something that the assassin wanted to get, or if there was something worthy of attracting him to fight to the death. It's possible that he used some sweet words to trick the other 3 galaxy level ones. This can be seen from the fact that they quickly gave up the war with me and even discussed the issue of compensation. They just wanted to take advantage of the situation. I haven't been promoted yet, so I came here to pick up something cheap, and even the assassins promised them many benefits. So there is no doubt that they know something. Then the assassin, is he coveting my yin and yang dao? I think the most valuable thing in me is the yin and yang dao that I created, but that doesn't make sense. Jia Yan thought that the most valuable thing about him was his yin and yang dao, but in fact, there was a galaxy level or even a creature who had stayed at the galaxy level for a long time. He was willing to think about the yin and yang dao with him. For Jia Yan, if it is something that he desires very much, he will definitely share many of his thoughts and ideas with the other person. Because yin yang dao was created by Jia Yan himself, he was completely independent all the way. He absolutely believed that there were some things that he had not discovered. At this time, another creature with a higher realm than himself appeared to help him analyze. Organizing the yin and yang Dao matters is something Jia Yan desires, and even others will definitely know this. Different from the complete path, if Jia Yan's yin and yang Dao has been perfected, then he will definitely not share it with others. However, the problem of yin and yang Dao is not known yet, so it is possible for him to share it with others, and even he can help the assassin or another galaxy-level powerhouse to quickly switch to the path of yin and yang. It's a pity that others are unwilling to do this, because a good galaxy-level being can help you find a new road. This is already a waste of their energy, and then they have to switch to a road that they are not sure whether it is safe. People wouldn't be so stupid. Therefore, Jia Yan definitely denies that the assassin will not come because of yin and yang Dao. Even if Jia Yan thinks that yin and yang Dao is the best thing he has, others will never think so. Then, what is he doing? Could it be the Orion arm? The Orion arm has recently been on the right track. Perhaps in the next few hundred years, it can grow into a mature star field similar to the outside world. Jia Yan thought for a while and thought that the assassin might be trying to use the Orion arm. But this thought flashed for a while and was thrown away by Jia Yan. Because the Orion arm may be very important to Jia Yan, not only is his hometown there, but also many of Jia Yan's materials and cultivation experiments are there. It is very important to Jia Yan, yes. But for other strong men, especially galaxy-level strong men, does the Orion arm have that kind of appeal? Absolutely not. The Orion arm is big, but it's not an exaggeration. A galaxy-level adventurer still entangled a group of galaxy levels to kill a galaxy level, and then gained a civilization level and technology level, which has not caught up with the Milky Way. Part of the star territory civilization level? It's very strange. Although this is not impossible at all, the possibility is not high. At least Jia Yan can't imagine that after knowing that he is a galaxy-level assassin, he still risks his death. Okay, I don't want to think too much. This assassin is already dead to me. It's just that he is said to have the support of a mid-level star behind him. The two star regions have also been in an old alliance for hundreds of thousands of years. Therefore, it is really uncertain whether the strong men in this star region will stand up for the assassins. Thing. Jia Yan thought for a while about the so-called supporter behind the assassin. Because in the star field, it does not mean that there will be strong people in charge at every point in time. In many star fields, most of the time, there is no galaxy-level person at all, so they will find others. Forge a lasting alliance in the star field. And it is this kind of alliance, and the two star regions that keep their ancient promises, that will truly survive. Therefore, the older the star field, the greater the possibility of having an alliance star field, because a star field will not always have a galaxy-level powerhouse. Without one or several alliances, it will easily perish when it does not have a galaxy level. Lose. The assassin star territory also has an alliance star territory, and both sides of this generation are very powerful. The assassin is a galaxy-level powerhouse, and the opponent's star territory is even more incredible, with a mid-level galaxy being. I'm not sure whether this mid-level existence in the galaxy, as the strongest in the alliance star territory in the assassin star territory, will take action against me. After all, they are an alliance. After much thought, Jia Yan still felt that the road ahead was still full of enemies and dangers. Even if the alliance powerhouses from the assassin star territory don't take action, I may still have to face other galaxy levels, such as the 3 galaxy levels who left earlier but must have resentments in their hearts, and other galaxy levels. Will they dislike me because I am an evolved beast and attack me? Next, it is about my use of yin and yang. If word spreads, will there be creatures from other universe systems that come to encircle and suppress me because of my deviance? These are all possible things. After thinking so much, even though Jia Yan had never thought that he would be a delicious tonic in the eyes of others, the sense of crisis still quickly rose. So in the subspace, Jia Yan silently entered the third dimension and began to practice steadily. Previously, Kang Ji accepted the challenge. For Jia Yan, he still had not mastered most of the full strength of the Galaxy class, because one look at his fighting method revealed that he just kept using the subspace to enter and exit, and then relied on strength. In order to win, both Xi-level fighters were injured by his hard-fought battle with brute force. Therefore, Jia Yan now not only needs some time to slowly stabilize his strength from promotion, but also needs to find a way to stabilize his combat effectiveness. If I can stabilize my current strength and transfer my combat power to the current galaxy-level combat methods, then my strength, not to mention skyrocketing, will at least be greatly improved. Jia Yan felt his body silently. In fact, the combat capability of the galaxy-level post-galaxy class that he looked forward to the most was still not fully reflected during his previous promotion. That is his yin-yang dao. This yin-yang dao can be said to be what distinguishes Jia Yan most from other galaxy-level powerhouses. In the existing system of strong men in the universe, many strong men use the strong men in the universe to slowly improve their strength. And below the galaxy level, there may still be many various systems or doorways. But when it comes to the galaxy level, except for the distant God system, or one or two systems that may exist in more distant places, at least among the powerful people in this star field, all the galaxy-level beings use the cosmic powerhouse system, which means that no other system is as perfect as the system of the strong man in the universe. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1752. Yes, Jia Yan is interested in white dwarf stars, or something on this white dwarf star. Even if he is strong, he is still weak to the universe, and even cannot be put on the stage at all. For me now, at least under certain natural conditions, I still don't have much backhand power. When Jia Yan reached the Xing level, he realized that there were still things he could do nothing about for the Xing level powerhouses, and he was by no means an all-powerful master. At least when facing the universe, he has no ability to resist at all, just like the planet in front of him. White dwarfs also emit a faint light, but the light is too dim, and it is difficult to see whether there is light from a distance. But to a strong person, dwarf quasars like white dwarfs are also very terrifying stars. Even if they are not as huge as stars, their mass is not as exaggerated as stars, but in a sense, they are more powerful than stars. All terrible. Because the gravity and pressure on the white dwarf are very high, most of the matter and atoms in the white dwarf are crushed by the huge pressure, and the electrons are forced out of the nucleus by the pressure and wander around in the outside world. Therefore, places like white dwarfs are more dangerous to many creatures, even powerful creatures. It's just that for galaxy-class white dwarfs, except for those with excessive gravity, the general ones are not enough to see. For example, this one personally selected by Jia Yan is just like this. The gravity of this white dwarf star is about 130 times heavier than the Earth. Even though this is an exaggeration, it is by no means unacceptable for many galaxies. My question now is, flying once you're in it, how do you get out? Haha, but for me, is this problem a problem? There is no need to worry at all. Jia Yan smiled and flew directly out of the subspace towards the dim white dwarf star. The creatures in the galaxy where the white dwarf star is located saw scenes that they would never forget. That was an existence that they had never seen before, or had rarely heard of in legends. He actually came out of a place that they didn't understand so quickly, and then with his huge body, he just penetrated into the white dwarf star. On track. What is this? My God, this body is so huge that it must be at least the peak of a star. No, this should be a huge body that can only be possessed by a galaxy-level body. It is terrifying, reaching a size of more than 30 kilometers. When has such a strong body ever come in our star field? Hey, Isn't that Master Jia Yan from the Northern Star Territory? How did he come to our chaotic family star domain? Does he have any plans for our chaotic family star domain? It shouldn't be, he is so terrifying, he wants our chaos family star territory to surrender, something that can be achieved with just one sentence, but he actually has to come here in person. In this galaxy, there are actually many living things, especially because of the large population in this chaotic family star field, and the family has occupied all aspects, even the white dwarf galaxy is no exception, so there are many planets, and although they are also orbiting the white dwarf star, for the white dwarf star, they do not have a star to get a lot of energy like other galaxies. Instead, they have to think of other methods, such as using the outside world. Using forces such as gravity to create energy, they lived a very poor life. But now, in such a poor galaxy that even ghosts don't like to come, a terrifying galactic powerhouse who has never appeared in the entire chaotic star field has actually appeared. Natural and instantly caused panic. Fortunately, everyone immediately discovered that the creature that came was in the northern star field not far from the Chaos family star field. Jia Yan, who had just surpassed 4 galaxy-level beings, was suddenly among the group of creatures. Only then did the local people become less frightened. Because it is impossible for such a great and powerful man to come and do anything to their galaxy, because if he wants to do it, even if he wants to take control of their galaxy, it is only a matter of words. Then what exactly does this gentleman want to do? He is flying to the white dwarf star. Could it be that he wants to enter the interior of the white dwarf star? This galaxy level is a galaxy level. It is difficult for us to get down without technological equipment. As far as white dwarfs are concerned, the better way to enter is to use technological equipment. In this regard, powerful creatures cannot match technology. And a strong person, at least in this star field, is completely unable to enter the interior of a white dwarf star without using equipment, even if the white dwarf star in their galaxy is actually a small white dwarf star. Not much gravity. But Jia Yan flew towards the white dwarf star like that, causing the surrounding governments and others who observed the scene to be extremely shocked by Jia Yan's performance. They all wanted to see who this galaxy-level being who did not use any technological equipment was. How to enter a white dwarf star, and how to get out once you enter. After all, the gravity of the white dwarf is too great. They believe it is possible to enter even a star class, but what about getting out? That kind of gravity is extraordinary. Jia Yan didn't have so many thoughts, especially about going out. For him, it was as simple as eating and drinking. The reason is also very simple, because he can enter the subspace instantly just by using his subspace talent. Even if it is due to the gravity of the white dwarf star, there will definitely be more terrifying distortions and unusual movements in the subspace on the star, but Jia, as a being who can come and go freely in the 8 dimensions of subspace, would I be afraid of such a simple distortion and something wrong? So he is not afraid of anything at all. If he wants to, he can directly enter the white dwarf star in the subspace. It is just his first time to enter the white dwarf star and he wants to slowly experience the gradual change of gravity. Well, it's begun. Suddenly, Jia Yan felt his weight slowly increase, and a huge suction force came very close to him, and it looked equally huge, at least bigger than any planet Jia Yan had ever seen. Attracted. The surface of this planet is also erupting with heat and light like a star, but this explosion is not so terrifying at all, and there is not even light coming out from some places. So Jia Yan was not so affected by the bright light and silently entered the orbit of the planet. White dwarfs are actually stars that almost became stars. Most of them are composed of dust in the galaxy, but they are unable to emit light like stars, and then they become white dwarfs. In this way, except that this white dwarf does not emit radiance like a star, most of its constituent materials and internal principles are very similar to ordinary stars. In other words, the surface of the white dwarf is not actually the actual ground, but a large area of gas, and these gases are constantly interacting with each other, burning and emitting light. Okay, let's go in. There were extremely terrifying masses of flames underneath, and Jia Yan began to feel the extremely terrifying gravity pulling himself into it. The gravity became very scary, and Jia Yan slowly accepted the terrifying gravity in front of him, and the fact that it would be difficult for him to escape at least for a moment. But for him, as long as there is subspace around him, he can easily leave no matter what kind of place it is. It's very good. This kind of gravitational force simply exceeds the attack power of ordinary galaxy-level attacks. Jia Yan slowly began to feel more terrifying pressure, and then his body fell directly into the burning star. That's right, he quickly paddled into the interior of the white dwarf. Surrounded by endless pressure, more of a feeling of explosion and gas, Jia Yan did not feel any actual ground, and then he sank into the center of the star. The pressure around him had reached more than 100 times the heart-stopping level. For Jia Yan, it was at least a galaxy-level attack power. Then he even felt a trace of golden color appear on the surface of his body. Come on, this is his body surface defense, a characteristic that is forced out of his body. It's indeed powerful. This kind of terrifying pressure is also good for my body's defense. However, I am definitely not here to practice defense, because the progress will not be much. Jia Yan calculated the terrifying level of pressure around him, and then used his brainwave power. Finding that there weren't many obstacles at all, he gradually flew up under the force of more than 100 times gravity. Ha, it turns out it's that simple. It seems that the galaxy level is still the galaxy level. Even if it weren't for me, I would be able to survive easily if I came here with another galaxy level. Jia Yan felt it for a while, and without consuming too much energy, he propped his body up and flew on this vast fireball. The size of this white dwarf star may be more than half the diameter of the Sun, but it is still hundreds of times larger than the diameter of the Earth. In other words, it is many times larger than the huge planets I have been to. In terms of surface area alone, at my current flying speed, which is as slow as a snail, it would take several months to complete a full circle. Jia Yan was in the sea of fire, enduring extremely high temperatures and terrible pressure, so it was very difficult to fly. Although the temperature of the fire is not too shocking, it is because I haven't sunk down yet. The temperature here is at most a few thousand degrees, but it's different down there. If I sink any further, the core temperature may reach 100 degrees. 10,000 degrees, that's a temperature that I simply can't bear, and of course, I won't commit suicide. A high temperature of several thousand degrees is nothing to Jia Yan today. In fact, the gravity of the burning layer on the surface of white dwarfs is not extremely terrifying. Like the heat, their bottoms may be the most terrifying. The pressure there is probably hundreds or thousands of times greater than on Earth. Moreover, white dwarf stars are relatively less scary among the celestial bodies in this universe. Other scary things, such as the black hole that Jia Yan has come into contact with, are things that he does not dare to enter into even the slightest delusion. Not to mention black holes, even neutrons with a smaller gravitational force than black holes will have a terrifying gravitational force that makes Jia Yan dumbfounded. Now it is impossible to get close to it. The actual reason why I came to the white dwarf star is very simple, that is, I want to get more materials here, and then hone my yin and yang dao. Jia Yan let his brainwave power release amazing energy, stopping in the air with more than 100 times the gravity. The surrounding sea of fire made Jia Yanfu's eyes completely devoid of other colors, creating a very dazzling effect. If it were a human being, if he were to see such a terrifying light, his eyes would be blinded, if nothing else. That's right, the authentic flash blinds the eyes, and the brightness is everywhere. But to Jia Yan, these are nothing. Compared with the terrifying light that bursts out instantly when he fights with people, these are nothing. As a result, his fear of white dwarfs became slightly less. Although the power required by yin and yang dao is two kinds, one positive and one negative, for here, most of the substances have no atoms, so the things inside are the purest. Then I can try it, here will the substance be absorbed by me? Next, I will use it, supplemented by the yin and yang dao in my body, to create pure particles similar to antimatter at Zhiyuan. Next, I will use the yin and yang dao, another it's time for the killer weapon to come out. Yes, Jia Yan has been thinking that even if his strength reaches the galaxy level, he still has a great sense of crisis, and even this sense of crisis is stronger than before the galaxy level. Although he still doesn't know that the ancient galaxy level assassins have the inheritance of their predecessors, saying that the evolved beasts are creatures useful for their promotion, but at least he knows through a simple comparison that the evolved beast family, in the first evolution after a strong beast is killed by other galaxy-level warriors in a battle, the evolved beast behind him, even if he reaches the galaxy level, will soon attract other galaxy-level or even domain lord-level beings to come forward to kill him. This is very strange. Even though Jia Yan still couldn't imagine that his evolved beast race would be treated as a tonic by others, it didn't stop him from understanding that after he entered the galaxy level, he could easily be attacked like those previous evolved beast seniors. A situation under siege by galaxy-level bosses. Although he was able to repel the four major galaxy-level alliances and even kill the main culprit of the alliance, he knew very well that it was very unrealistic for him to immediately improve his strength after reaching the galaxy level. And next, he felt that if someone else came up to plot against him, it would definitely not be someone with the strength of an assassin. It is even possible that he is directly a territory lord, or a mid-level powerhouse from the galaxy who, although weaker than the territory lord, is completely superior to the primary existence of the galaxy. Intermediate galaxy? You know, if you look at the star level, the gap between the primary star level and the mid-level star level is already very, very large. It is often 1-star mid-level, and there is no problem in playing 10-star primary levels. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1753. Jia Yan's strength gradually improved in seclusion. This was not because of what he had practiced, but because of the benefits that every strong creature had after being promoted. After all, any creature that had just been promoted would be the weakest at the beginning of the promotion. Once the period of weakness is over, the true strength will be restored. Therefore, this process is not actually an improvement, it is just a restoration of Xi-level strength. Therefore, Jia Yan no longer has to slowly stare at his improved strength, but is thinking about certain issues. After 3 or 5 days, his strength was faster than other galaxy-level experts, and he reached the peak after his first promotion. Even the energy consumed during battle has been restored a lot. The galaxy class is indeed the galaxy class. Although the total amount of energy is larger, the actual time to restore combat effectiveness is less than that of the stellar class. This is because the galaxy class understands the essence of the universe is also greater, so the speed of repairing strength becomes faster. On this day, Jia Yan silently flew away from the capital of Tadia from the subspace area behind Tadia. Before leaving, he also looked at Kama and others inside Tadia Kingdom. It's done well. The Pacific Kingdom has slowly taken over everything in the Northern Star region. Even those countries and forces that were originally unwilling to cooperate with the Pacific Kingdom have been successfully integrated into the Pacific Kingdom. Although most of this is I have credit for the deterrence in the first battle, but in fact, if Tadia country is not efficient in doing things, it will not be able to handle the affairs of other countries in just a few days. I am basically satisfied with this. When Jia Yan saw the people of Tadia Kingdom and other countries in the Northern Star Territory expressing their willingness to merge into the Northern Star Territory Alliance after Jia Yan's battle, he suddenly felt that Tadia Kingdom's ability to do things was pretty good. Moreover, Tadia Kingdom not only made these things, the huge battleship that Jia Yan told them to repair was almost repaired at this moment. It must be mentioned that after the battle that day, the huge fleet led by the assassins included several other powerful giant battleships dedicated to assassins. There were even 120 battleships larger than the one Jia Yan obtained. Ran away with great regret. Otherwise, Jia Yan would now have a battleship that officially qualified as a galaxy-level powerhouse. It's just that Jia Yan doesn't want this kind of battleship that much anymore. He wants to repair the current one just to help Edisha get a new body to live in. As for Jia Yan himself, it seems that he doesn't pay much attention to spaceships and battleships anymore. This kind of thing. He vaguely knew that even other galaxy-level experts, as long as they were individuals with an advantage in speed, actually did not have that much need for battleships and man tools. For example, Jia Yan himself, he had been able to enter subspace within the octave. And if it moves at this depth, its speed will not be slower than that of a weaker battleship. Although it is still far behind those terrifying battleships that are dozens of kilometers in size, it can move in a small range. Jia Yan used his own body to move faster. So this time he planned to walk a small distance silently. Jiaruo is doing well too. Jia Yan also looked at Jiaruo inside the Taiya kingdom. Because her status had improved, she seemed to be protected by more people. Half of the high-end combat power of the Taiya kingdom was protecting Jiaruo. This sentence did not say wrong. Since the niece didn't have many problems, Jia Yan left Taiya kingdom. The place he wanted to go was not a very far place, but just a stroll around the northern star field. The northern star field is not very big, but is a small place with an area of only a few light years. There are not many stars in it, just a few, and because many of them are binary stars, the stars appear to be numerous. Point: if it is a place with a single star system, then there may only be a few stars. It can be seen how small the northern star territory is. Near the northern star territory, there is a place called the Chaos Star Territory, and there is a place called the Red Tower Empire. This chaotic star field is not really chaotic, but there are many families in it. They have a relatively loose alliance, and their strength actually exceeds that of the northern star field. This is even more true for the Hungta Empire on the other side. Jia Yan passed by this Hungta Empire on his way back then. Let's go to the chaotic star field this time. There is what I want there. Jia Yan looked at the detailed map in his hand. This kind of map was originally for military use, but as a strong man, Jia Yan could easily get any information he wanted. In the Chaos Star territory, there is something Jia Yan wants, but it is not what he is preparing to go to war with the Hungta Alliance. Jia Yan silently entered the subspace. In the 8-dimensional subspace, even the current galaxy-level body will feel a little uncomfortable in it, because the 8-dimensional subspace is almost complete silence for living creatures. No living thing can stay here for a long time, even if Jia Yan can only fly in the subspace of the 8th degree for a while, then go to the 7th degree to rest for a while, and then continue flying in the 8th degree. The speed of such a stop-and-go, slow flight is actually still faster than that of many small, close-range commercial spacecraft. You must know that in the subspace, it can be said that he can fly 1,000 miles in one step, flying at a speed above the speed of light. Before the speed of ordinary commercial spacecraft is raised, it is really not as fast as Jia Yan. The speed-up time of those spaceships is often very long, much slower than that of battleships, so Jia Yan dares to say that his flying speed is definitely faster than ordinary commercial spacecraft within a short distance. Quite a few. Jia Yan moves in the subspace, and outsiders, no matter what level of technology, at least in the northern star field and the chaotic star field on the other side, there is definitely nothing that can detect his existence. As long as the flight in space reaches above 3 degrees, it is difficult for ordinary instruments to detect it, not to mention that Jia Yan has flown to the subspace level of 7 or 8 degrees. It can be said that there are almost no instruments in this galaxy. Jia Yan's actions can be detected. Therefore, no one in Taya Kingdom knew about his departure, and it was even possible that Jia Yan had returned. As long as it did not alarm others elsewhere, no one would know about his departure or return. This is the terrifying thing about subspace gifted creatures. While Jia Yan was flying in the subspace, he didn't know that after attracting the attention of many galaxy-level bosses, finally, a real boss knew of his existence. In an ethereal place. Oh, did the evolved beast giant Mosquito really advance to the galaxy level? Hee, it seems that I was wrong back then. Somewhere in the starry sky, a large area of stars belongs to a certain insect-like female creature. She has an astonishing appearance and a very grotesque body. If it were an earthling, she would definitely be surprised, because the appearance of this monster is very similar to the Zerg Queen described by the Earthlings. The idea of this Earthling is correct, because this female monster is the Queen of the Zerg. Jia Yan was also possessed by it for a period of time inside the Orion arm, and then was inexplicably saved by it. Once, and even in the end he was abandoned by the Zerg Queen, a wonderful process. It's not that Jia Yan has forgotten the Queen of the Zerg, it's that he has never dared to think about the existence that once paid attention to him and then left him in shock. It was not that Jia Yan had not learned about this Zerg Queen before, but the more he looked at it, the more he couldn't believe it, and then he simply stopped looking. Because the information about the Zerg Queen was too weird, Jia Yan simply didn't read it in order not to disturb his mind. If we look at her experience and strength, Jia Yan believes that this queen's experience, strength, and even talent may be superior to Jia Yan. Above Jia Yan? Is it possible? In fact, there is really a slight possibility. Because the Zerg Queen already occupies what may be the most vast star field in this large star field. It is rumored that her strength can deal with 3 or more people of the same level. And what is her strength? Domain Lord. That's right, this Queen of the Zerg is actually a territory lord, and her strength, on the surface, is already capable of dealing with 3 territory lord level beings. In other words, she is in this vast star field. Within, it can be completely said that it is the number 1, and can also be called invincible. Her rise, and the rise of her Zerg, can be said to be legends among legends in this vast star field. Looking at the whole process alone, it is even more terrifying than the previous evolved beasts. Many times. After all, although the evolved beasts are terrifying, in fact, almost every one of them, after reaching the galaxy level, was killed by other domain lords. And this Queen of the Zerg has also been hunted and killed in the starry sky. Killing, all kinds of killing, but she rose all the way up, and then achieved a huge fame. Instead of dying, she occupied a star field. In a previous war, she even killed 2 territory lords, establishing their foundation. The Zerg race dominates this vast star field. And such a being has actually paid attention to Jia Yan from so long ago? Haha, I really saw it wrong. It's interesting. This little guy's growth experience is indeed very interesting. I didn't follow him step by step back then. Oh, what is this yin and yang Dao? Amazing, really he is so powerful that he actually created such an interesting thing for him, but I didn't witness it with my own eyes. Alas, it's a pity, it's a pity. The Queen of the Zerg, the pinnacle of a generation of territory lords, actually lost her composure after hearing the news about Jia Yan. Pass my order and quickly deliver this news to Na Jia Yan. After reading Jia Yan's information, she instantly gave a definition. He has been given 2 years to come to my palace for an audience. If he exceeds the time limit, he will not wait. The Zerg Queen said calmly, by the way, this guy seems to have a bit of a stubborn temper. Let's talk nicely. Also, I am the one who saved him back then. If he remembers this kindness, please come and see me. On the one hand, I promise not to do anything to him. The Zerg Queen seems to have a lot of understanding of Jia Yan. That's right. She possessed Jia Yan's body and had seen many of Jia Yan's experiences. At a certain moment, she couldn't help but help Jia Yan. For Jia Yan, this was almost heavenly. A big favor. As for the queen of the hedge tribe, it was actually nothing, it was just a clone's energy being exposed. Back then, Jia Yan didn't understand her kind of avatar, and was even a little scared. But today's Jia Yan, although he has not yet reached the level of condensing clones using only energy, he is by no means completely ignorant of the matter of clones. He has even used many clones, which has caused a lot of convenience. It can also be said that his clone tactics were actually influenced a lot by this Zerg queen. Speaking of which, Jia Yan really wants to thank the so-called queen of the Zerg, but he doesn't know if this queen has any hostility towards him. It's just that Jia Yan now doesn't know the Zerg queen's order and is just continuing his journey. Coming. In this space, Jia Yan is very fast. In less than half a month, he flew from the Northern Star Territory a few light years away to the chaotic family star territory adjacent to the Northern Star Territory. Here, families or unique races thrive here. Although each one looks chaotic, there is not much fighting. On the contrary, there are many external wars. Even the Northern Star Territory was almost destroyed by this. The chaotic star field was destroyed. Of course, to Jia Yan, this chaotic star field is nothing, just a hidden star level, or the kind of old, weak, sick, and disabled. Jia Yan can see that it should be forced. What method was used to upgrade it to a star level? Its strength is much worse than that of an ordinary star level. It may not even be able to beat a normal pseudo-star level. Therefore, Jia Yan had no interest in dealing with the powerful people here, so he silently looked at the affairs of the chaotic star territory, and then flew to a certain place in the chaotic star territory. It really does exist here. Jia Yan smiled. He revealed his true form in a less prosperous area. In front of Jia Yan's eyes is a dark galaxy. This galaxy is said to be a galaxy, but in fact it can't really be considered a galaxy, because the main star of this galaxy does not exist, or the celestial body that looks like a main star cannot be considered a star. This is a star-like celestial body with very dim luminosity. Its mass is only about half of the main star of the solar system where the Earth is located, the Sun. Because of its small mass, it cannot carry many stars or even light. It's not bright either, or there's no light at all. White dwarf. Jia Yan looked at the dark gray star and said its name. In the universe, white dwarfs account for about 10% of all stars, and Jia Yan searched for a long time before he found such a white dwarf that suited him.